What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke. What is good?
I forgot how to speak. What's good, bro?
Man, come on, bro. I've missed you.
Missed you
missed
too,
the
man.
people. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. It feels like it's been like 2 months, bro. That's what it feels like right now.
Feels like the perfect time to be back.
It is the perfect time to be back, man. Football is officially here. Training camp is in full swing. I am kind of glad. I had mixed feelings though. Missed the first couple of practices. I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to be there for that. But then I was like, you know what? This is better this way, anyways. Because when I came back, it was the start of the second week. So I'm like, all right. By now, we done got all the little kinks out. So anything that I see now, I can properly evaluate it because you don't have to go and say, well, it's because the first day.
Sure.
He just had a good second day. Everybody was still getting acclimated. Nah, we didn't see no. They had, at least a week of practices under their belt now. So, I definitely feel like it's the right time. But dude, it's been a minute, man. How have you been, man? How's life with you, bro? You find that perfect woman yet?
No.
Okay.
Everything's pretty good with me though. No complaints over here. Last week was good. Did a few vids here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to relax though. Now with you, vacation.
Yeah,
well,
man.
I got a couple questions.
Uh-oh.
I am curious about this.
A couple of questions.
I'm curious about this. The training camp. Did you have some FOMO? Were you like
not really
thinking about training camp on vacation a little bit?
This is the funny thing, man.
Couldn't stay away from the game.
The only I was excited about camp, but it was for my media responsibilities because this is gonna be my first time actually covering camp and having a live show during practices. That's the VIP time slot for the Steelers. So when they told me, a little over 2 weeks ago that was going to be my slot, initially I was just like, dang, man, I finally get this prime time and I'm going to miss the first 3 days because I'm on vacay. I'm like, and it makes
I see what you're saying.
Part of me felt like I was big time in it. You know what I mean? It's like, who gonna take a vacation the first week of training camp in the prime time slot?
I get what
it's
you're
your
saying.
First year of the prime. Imagine it's your first year in the prime time slot, D, and you yo, I ain't gonna be there these first couple of days though. All right,
family first.
You know what I'm saying? But that was the case, and it was family first. And for me, in terms of why I wasn't following training camp all the way, was because of that. I was I had to make sure that we family
you need to
only.
relax.
Yeah, because I was when we get back, it's the grind. I mean, as y'all can see,
Sure.
we didn't even want to wait until prime time today. We're going to have primetime shows. I mean, we got a couple of announcements. The first one being that we're adding an extra show. Man, we're going 3 shows a week now. And yeah, for us, we wanted to do more primetime, but I was so hyped. Deke was like, yo, you got to go ahead. And I'm like, no, Deke, we can't. All right, Deke, it's been too long. I need to talk to the people. Deke's like, yo, we good. Yo, you got to chill. I'm like, no, Deke, I can't chill today, man. So here we are with a rise and grind, a wake and bake, taking a, trip to Mars early.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you got to be sometimes, man.
Yeah, definitely.
But dude, it's been a ton, dude. It's been a ton going on, man.
What was the highlight of the trip?
Oh man, it's probably.
Or if you have a top 3.
Top 3, swimming with the sharks is number 1. That's a bucket list.
Were you nervous at all?
Slightly, but I wasn't sure if they're like dogs and they can smell fear, so I tried to throw on that fake bravado, right? We get in the water and it's crazy because they're like, oh yeah, the locals who have swam with these, because it's not like your traditional zoos or petting places where everything is domesticated. It's legit lines and security. Nah. In Exuma, Bahamas, it's more so you don't pay for anything. You just got to get to where they are in their natural habitat and go interact. So with the iguanas, for example, there's no security out there. It's nobody if the iguana bites you to call. No, you just got to be in their element and act accordingly. So with the sharks, a similar concept. So you get in the water and you got the people that are freaking out. You stay away from them because the sharks get a little skittish around that. You don't want those problems. But then the rest of us were over here and it's like, dude, these really sharks just chilling. And not little sharks. Yeah. So it was cool, man. But
did you touch one?
I did. I touched a couple of them. Wifey held a shark.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then I almost got choked out by Ava because she was petrified while I'm holding Ava in one arm, Grant in the other arm. And then I get rear naked choked because Ava freaks out yo, Dad, get it away from me. So yeah. But that was definitely the number 1 thing, man. Swim with the sharks is number 1. Number 2 was the iguanas because it reminded me of Jurassic Park. At the beginning of it, or excuse me, it would have been Jurassic Park 2 where they're on the little island and all the little small dinosaurs start coming up to them and they look and it's like, oh, we're crowded. the picture we took was low-key dope like that. So that would be number 2. It reminded me of the whole just getting attacked by the iguanas.
Okay.
They did not attack us, but it looked like it in the picture. So I thought that was dope. And then the third thing was swimming with the turtles, bro. I don't think I posted that picture yet, bro. We were just in this other random beach with random sea turtles, babies, adults, and you could just pick them up and swim with them, bro. It was nuts.
Wow,
I felt like
man.
I was in there with like Mikey, Donatello, Leonardo, all the dudes, man. It was crazy.
So the animals were the main thing for you.
They were, bro. And I'm not even a big animal nature guy, but maybe I'm turning into that. Like I picked up golf. Maybe I've picked up being a nature guy.
Sure, retirement's done you well.
So far, so good, man. So far, so good. but it felt great, man. I will say that, man. It definitely felt great.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man. But it was an awesome time, man. Like I said, not just the vacay, then coming back yesterday. Training camp practice was dope. Got to see our boy Vincent. He was down there, man, fully decked out. Man, it was crazy. Love seeing him, man. Also got a chance to see Steelers Jesus, too, man. He was down there, too, man. Had the chancletas on, bowing and stuff. It was pretty awesome,
What
man.
do you have to say?
I don't know. He just prayed.
That's it?
Yeah, he was like, Hail Mary, full of grace. It was cool. I was like, all right.
He didn't say anything
No.
else.
I know. I don't really know how to have conversations with Steelers Jesus. I didn't know if it was like formal, informal. Should I like pray? Like I wasn't sure. So yeah, I just kind of left it at that. But it was dope, man. And then had the book signing bartending event at Wahlburgers, which actually shout out to Black and Mortar, man. He pulled up to that, man. Right here in the chat, man. Got a chance to see him. I think Vince pulled up to that as well. Justin, man, it was a rack of people over there, but it was a ton of fun, man. It's a good time, man. It was like I said, it's been a good weekend, man. Good week to weekend. And now here we are, baby. Smiling, enjoying life.
They approve of your drinks?
I don't know. Well, actually, everybody I did talk to said that they approved of it. The funny thing was, I actually didn't get a chance to taste my drink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went from like making a ton to like jumping right over to doing the book stuff. Totally forgot to get my drink, bro.
Were you mixing them up in terms of the drinks?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Come on, baby. A little bit of that. A little bit of that. A little bit of more of that. Sprinkle that and you throw it out there to the people.
So at the end of the day, though, even if you would have tried one of your drinks, you wouldn't have known on the other ones. So that's not the end of the world. You just got to go based off your instincts and trust what you know. That's all.
That's what I was thinking. See, this is why we need that connection right there, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
But then did you see your boy Black and Mortar in the chat?
Uh-oh, man. We do got to get to the chat. I've been neglecting the chat these first 8 minutes. In fact, I'm going to get to everybody in the chat, but also shout out where you're coming from as well, or where you're tuning in from. But wow, man, Black and Mortar, man, this is my guy right here. And I actually learned Black and Mortar's like real name as well. I don't know if he wants me to put it out there, but it was cool, man.
You got address too, phone number?
I did not, man, but I feel like we're connected now because the whole time we're there and he introduced himself as Black and Marta, I'm calling him Black and Marta the whole time. And everybody's looking like, yo, what are you talking about? And I'm like, this is how I know him. I know it's Black and Marta. Like, he's forever Black and Marta to me. But they were like, oh, no, this is his real name. Da, 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 da. It was a cool conversation, though, man. But first off, Black and Marta, man, we appreciate the support. And he says, thanks for Saturday, Moats. You were awesome. Thanks for being so nice to myself and my mom. It was a pleasure to meet you. Man, the pleasure was all mine, Black and Marta. It was a blast. Awesome folks, man, on your end, baby. Yes, indeed. All right, but let's see what else we got. All right, Jack Dottery, hit us with a good morning. Well, top of the morning to you, fella. Justin, back at it early, man. You never sleep, but you always grinding, baby, and we appreciate you. Yes, we do. And CB_HU23 says he loves these early shows.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, trust me, man. At least throughout the month of August, we're going to have a mix of early shows right at this 9 o'clock hour, along with primetime shows in the 7 p.m. hour. We know we got to be respectful for both our East Coast and West Coast, viewers. And the international ones as well, because we know how that time can kind of be a little crazy at times. But we make sure that we got a little diversity with the clock on us, all right? So, for us, for y'all, because we appreciate y'all.
We got CMF Sonny. What up, guys? Wake and bake. Prepping my ingredients as we speak.
Hey, you know how we do. Make sure it's ground up really nice. Come on now. From research, that's what they say. You don't want stems and seeds. That's what they say. I don't know why, but that's what they say.
And we got Q giving us some support and just letting us know where he's going to be this season. I got tickets for the Steelers-Bears game. Hope I see y'all.
Hey, I like it. We gotta
make
that happen,
Monday
man.
night action.
Got to make that happen. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see Justin Fields.
We got Justin Reynolds here as well, man. He's checking in from Morgantown, which is pretty dope. And then we got Andre Anderson, Oklahoma, in the building. Our Boomer Sooner resident. We appreciate you as well. And, man, who we got tuning in from South Dakota? Devin. All right. I like that.
England.
Whoa.
You talk about international. We
Okay,
got Rob.
across the pond?
Yeah, we got Rob
All
from
right.
England. 10 a.m. from Brazil. Renato.
Brazil.
Let's see where else. VA. Your hometown?
Okay. 2 up, 2 down. I like it. Oh. And Aaron, we appreciate you. 6 a.m. in Cali. Respect. Yes, indeed. Respect.
And then we got some people from Pittsburgh. We got
Gotta have a 412s,
Donald
the
Copeland.
724s in here.
Donald Copeland from the Hill District. Tavian Chancellor, straight out of Pittsburgh. The real deal, baby.
Okay. John Doe, he's a 412 guy. Reginald Billingsworth, Pittsburgh in the building as well. Yeah, man, I like that though,
Toxic
baby.
One North, the Bronx. We got Roscoe from Vegas.
Shout out to Roscoe in Vegas.
Alberto,
too,
Cali.
All right. Got the 818. Okay. Dude, I like it, man.
That's how it always is. The demographics all over the place.
Hey, that's how it's supposed to be, though, man. Because once again, this isn't just, Pittsburgh Steeler fans. No, it's Steeler Nation.
It's Steeler Nation.
Because we're bigger than just Pittsburgh. No, it's national. It's global. Actually, it's worldwide. It's crazy. But that's why we love it, man. That is why we love it. And why we're not going to keep y'all waiting any longer. I've seen some people in the chat bringing up certain names for camp standouts. We've read the articles.
They were demanding too.
They were very demanding.
Not, hey, can you talk about this person?
Talk about it now. right now. That's what they said, Deke. They said, if you don't talk about this right now, I'm going to fight you, baby. So without further ado, man, we're going to the camp standouts, baby. I don't want zero problems, okay? I'm fresh off the vacay. I'm still getting back used to this thing. Don't hurt me, player. Don't hurt me. Jeez. But, man, how do you want to start this, man? Do you want me to go first or you want to go first?
Whoa.
Because it's kind of multifaceted
I like what you said off the mic because you got the insider experience Saturday at training camp. So there are a few names that I've written down on stock up, stock down, general buzz that I'm seeing on Twitter and social media based off these play-by-play reports that are getting dropped and just what some people are saying that have been at camp.
I definitely
I have some of that, but I like your perspective from, hey, I've seen a little bit on vacation. I've seen some of these reports too, but I actually got to see it up close in action at training camp. And I have my own little analysis.
Very true, man.
I saw some positive things, and maybe I saw something different.
That's what I was hoping. So this is kind of how we should do it then. Since you already have a clean list, we'll read yours first. I'm sure some of mine are going to coincide with yours anyways, but also in terms of the names that have been popping up a lot more because you have been following a lot more that first week, whereas like I said, I had to play catch up. Yeah. You'll be able to be like, well, man, this guy on that first day, man, he went crazy on social media. So I think we'll have that nice balance like that. But what Deke was alluding to was because I wasn't there that first week, but I was able to be there yesterday and I'll be down there every practice, open practices and closed practices are part of my media responsibilities. I will be able to see every single practice, walkthroughs, all type of stuff. So we will be able to go a little bit more in depth because it's not the live show. So if you're listening on my other channel, can't give you all that info, but on this channel we can just because of how the timing works of it. Come on, man. We appreciate y'all, right? I always tell them, right? We said we appreciate you. We always say that, right? And we don't want to just verbally say, we like to physically show that. We like to make our actions speak louder than our words. So that is the case. So we will give you some of that. But we do have a new member of the upper room as well.
What's good?
Shout out to Wade Keith. Wade Keith, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, baby. All right. So you ready to get this thing started, man?
Yes.
All right. The moment the people have been waiting on or waiting for, or however you want to say that.
Well, this one's clear.
Uh-huh.
He's been breaking the internet, actually.
Facts.
James Pierre.
I'm so glad you said that.
Pierre Island's real.
Yes.
I think, honestly, no matter what you say, I'm going to lean on the social media reports that Pierre Island is going to be the best lockdown corner in the NFL this year.
Oh, wow. I missed that part of Twitter. Wow.
No, that's
said the best on the team. That boy said the best in the league, lockdown corner.
That's where I took it. That's where I took the reports.
Goat. There we go.
It's looking good right now.
All right.
Pick sixes back-to-back days. And just seeing a lot of good things. Breaking up balls, too. Even going head-to-head against Claypool and showing some bravado with that. What are you saying?
No, man.
That's all I know. That's all any of us know, really.
Well, no, he was actually the first name that I had written down when I got back in town because of all the reports I had read on him from beat writers, from social media. It like he was tearing it up. So I was really focused on him when I got there yesterday. And I will say, man, he's living up to it. But it looks like what we talked about on tape when we broke down some of his film, super fundamental. He hasn't gotten any faster or more athletic. But once again, when you talk about him matching up with Claypool, I watched him in 7 shots where he's going up against Claypool, and Claypool from the 2-yard line is a monster because the jump ball element. But what Pierre understands is getting hands on receivers, rerouting them, disrupting the timing of it, and he does it every time. So he's consistent. And that's the part where when I watch him, I'm like, that looks good. That's what we saw on tape last year, while we even projected that he could be a good corner right now. But he's definitely been doing well. And the caveat that I will say about him compared to some of the other names that might come up is he's legitimately making these plays in different parts of the field. Meaning this, when you hear a report about a guy getting a pick 6 and 7 shot, initially it sounds like, man, that was some crazy tough play. Like, boom, man, he did this, man. This is awesome. But a lot of times in 7 shot, it's pass or fail when it comes to throwing the ball because it has to happen right now. And from a route concept, typically you're either getting a fade ball or a slant ball. So it's right now. If you guess right, you can jump a route, get a pick, and be going the other way because everybody's already down there. So that was the part where I'm just like, with Pierre, let me make sure it's not just that, because I know initially it was early on. Oh, he got the pick 6 and 7 shot. I'm like, all right, I know 7 shot. But when we went and watched him in the team portion, whether it was 2-minute drill, whether it was first down, whether it was situational third down, you still see him making plays on the ball. You still see him breaking on the ball. When I see that, I'm just like, okay, that lets me know that he's not just a guy that's good in this drill, because there's certain guys that are just good in a drill. He's actually showing that he can be legitimate out there. So now for him, he goes into that category of we need to see it in the stadium now. Like he's shown more than enough in that first week of practice. He's graduated to we need to see you in the game now, man.
What's nice about this, though, at least, all this talk in the offseason about who we should pick up free agent-wise, Richard Sherman, any of these other cornerbacks that are available, bringing back Steven Nelson, does this give you enough right here where it's like, I feel like the Steelers made the right decision at least? This dude has shown enough potential where they could bet on him.
So I do, but I don't.
Okay.
And this is the reason. I do because he looks good. He is doing what he's supposed to do. He is controlling every single thing that he can control. The reason why I'm not is because I've seen who was at quarterback doing some of those throws, and they've been struggling in camp. So that's my thing. So I'm like, is this more so the full product of Pierre, or is it the combination of Pierre balling, but the person at quarterback right now?
He was going up against a lot of our one receivers, though, was he?
Yeah, no. In terms of the receivers, yes. But you remember, Ben hasn't been practicing.
he was on and
off.
So
that's why the matchups have been Pierre against a Claypool, Pierre against a Deontay, but you're getting Mason at quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's where it changed a little bit. So if this is Ben throwing these throws, it goes even to another level because we're like, yo, we respect Ben on a different, stratosphere than how we view Mason or even Haskins right now. But with Mason, when he's making some of these plays, and he's had some good plays as well, but the bad plays have shown up a little bit too frequently from what I've read and obviously from what I saw. That to me was the part with James where I'm just kind of like, all right, is it a mix of that? And that's why I said I want to see it in the stadium, though, because like if I see it in the stadium, well, that kind of puts to rest it was just a quarterback. That puts that whole debate to rest. And now we can just say, well, no, he's legit, he's good, he's ready to go. We don't need anybody else out there.
What's funny about Mason is you didn't hear anything bad like the first 2 days,
right?
But it's been these last 2 where everyone thinks the world's ending for him. He might even get the QB2 spot taken away. It is an open competition between him and Haskins. We thought this going in.
But this is the reason, man, from what I read and from what I saw. From what I've read, Mason has struggled, whereas Haskins has been able to stretch the field a lot more and been a lot more consistent doing it. Even from what I saw at practice, Haskins wasn't the perfect player out there by no means, but he looked more comfortable out there. This also, we talk about the full spectrum of it and why I don't think it's necessarily all Mason. We haven't seen the full O-line that is going to be starting just yet.
What was it? 4 out of the 5 haven't really been playing.
So the O-line that Mason is playing behind versus our one unit,
defensive line,
it's tragic. Like, I watch it, and even when Najee breaks a run, I'm like, we're going to hoop and holler, but that was a tackle for a loss. You know what I mean?
But Najee's that good.
He's no. What I'm saying is this: it was still going to be a tackle for a loss.
No, sure. I've also seen other things where it's like Najee broke 3 tackles, 5-yard game.
Right, but this is but the reason why I'm trying to give you the context on it is because, number one, on defense and practice, you're not tackling Najee to the ground. You're not supposed to. So the concept of him breaking the tackle is misleading. But this is seriously why I was like, yo, I wanted to like talk about it, because even when Najee's been balling out, don't get it twisted. But even with him, some of the runs that he's breaking, I'm like, that's not realistic, just because this O-line hasn't done what we have talked about in terms of our panic. And that to me is also with Mason, where I'm like, I don't necessarily think it's all Mason, because I'm looking at Mason throw this ball and I'm like, you got 4 guys around you. You know what I mean, scrambled on. Even Ben, he's doing a drill and he's like trying to scramble around because there's no protection up front. That's to me still the issue right now. Like, if they don't get that square, now granted, we know guys have been injured in and out the lineup, but they got to get that part taken care of first, man.
Yeah, the injuries shouldn't calm that down, because you want them to be building rapport. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to say, hey, 4 of the 5 starters aren't there, that's why the line's not doing good. But we're starting a preseason game this week, and the season's going to start within a month here.
Yep.
I kind of would like to see them out there and getting opposite reports where the line's actually looking somewhat decent. Mm-hmm. Because that was not what I was expecting coming into this. I thought we start seeing the line gelling.
I thought the same thing, yeah.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, because I still have hope on the offensive line. I just hope it happens sooner rather than later, because the more this thing gets pushed down, where Dotson, Banner, Chooks, who else isn't playing? It's been Green and Turner have been playing, right? Is one of them been limited?
No. Trainer wasn't. When I was out there, Turner wasn't out there. The only one that was out there was Kendrick Green.
Either way, we got to get the full line assembled sooner rather than later.
Funny thing, man. I remember when I got out there Saturday, and I had my list of like, okay, these are the guys I'm looking for, and I had Trey Turner up there. So I'm going through these numbers. I'm like, all right, is that such? I'm like, where the heck are these guys at, man? None of these dudes are out there. It was just Kendrick. And when I'm watching, for example, Joe Haig try to block Melvin Ingram, and Mason Rudolph is your quarterback, and Najee's trying to run the ball, what do you think that looks like?
Sure.
You know what I mean? When you go to the other side, and I don't even think Dan Moore was at tackle at this point. Alex Highsmith had got his hands on somebody. I don't even know who it was. It was just somebody. And it was gory. I'm like, and that was one of the plays where it would have been a 4-yard tackle for loss on Najee. He goes up, tags him. Najee keeps running, bursts down 20 yards. Everybody goes, oh, man, that's a heck of a run. I was like, bruh, that is not realistic right there. But that's the type of stuff I'm alluding to.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to evaluate Mason, when you're trying to evaluate some of these other players behind that line right now, it's hard. I'm just like, bro, what am I? At times, man, it just looks like they're not even out there. But it's mainly versus the ones. Versus the twos, it gets a little bit more balanced out. And that's why with Haskins, for example,
a little more time,
he has been able to look more comfortable because he's had more time.
Well, then that makes sense when you see the stat that Mason hasn't thrown a pass over 20 plus yards, where Haskins has 6.
Correct.
Now, you could spin that one way or another, but hearing your information, it makes a little more sense, because probably everyone's hearing that and saying, oh, Mason, yeah, he's back to his old self. He's not taking shots anymore. Haskins, he's fearless out there.
And then along with this, it's like, even in practice for Mason, Coach Tomlin isn't even counting the sacks. It's times where 3 people have tagged him to sack him, and Coach is like, no, keep the play alive. Keep it going. And he does that because he wants the DBs to get work. Otherwise, they're never going to get a chance to be in coverage, never going to get a chance to play a ball or things like that. But with some of the late throws from Mason, they've been because of that, where he had already been sacked.
It's probably awkward then, too.
And now it's just like,
over, now
keep going. And you're just like, okay. You see the receivers kind of like get it back going again, and then he'll throw something, and it won't look good, but the timing is off. So that was the other reason why I just kind of was like, even though Mason hasn't had the best camp so far and even the best practice from what I saw. And obviously when I go out there today at 1, we'll be able to see some more and we'll continue to update this process. But that to me has been the biggest thing right now, man. Like, he has zero time, bro.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, anything else with Pierre whenever we're talking about his position in the secondary? Like, there are some talks like, wow, this opens up the possibility, him outside, Cam Sutton inside.
So we were going to talk that, but before we get there, I did see a lot of people in the chat. They were bringing up just the trade Mason concept, right? Because we've seen in the past where we traded Dobbs, obviously, but with Carson Wentz, that was like Andrew Luck. I was like, no, it's not Luck. With Carson Wentz though going down, and he's out indefinitely right now with the foot injury. That obviously has popped up, right? Trade people, who's available, and he has been a person that, at least in the chat now, has popped up a ton, man. So what are your thoughts on that though, man? Do you what's his market from your perspective, bro?
I think you got to wait and see. I do not want to go through another season that we did in 2019. Like right now, yeah, I could see how it makes sense. We have Haskins. He looks like he has more upside than Mason. Even before this training camp, a lot of people were higher on Haskins. Yeah. And not saying you really need 3 quarterbacks out there, but we experienced a season where our top 2 quarterbacks did go down, and we had Duck Hodges out there. So I'd kind of just rather would have that insurance up to this point, maybe see how the preseason plays out. I'd like to see Haskins in games before we're just making that decision right now.
I agree with that.
That's all. Yeah. If Haskins is completely balling out, I'm a little bit more apt to do it, and then especially depending on the compensation.
Okay.
Is 5th, 6th round worth it? I don't know about that. If 3rd or 4th, maybe.
Well, I mean, with Mason, it's gonna be,
and hopefully he doesn't kill his value in preseason though.
Well, that's
right now, based off these reports, his value might be down. Maybe they're not looking for Mason.
Well, I will say this though: practice reports, you can always spin it because those guys.
You don't think teams care as much about that?
No. Not that they don't care, but you have to realize that they don't have people here visually seeing it. Like for me, I will read what certain writers are writing and I'll hold certain value with it, but it's still certain things that I'm not gonna believe 100% until I see it with my eyes. And with these other organizations, when you talk about trading for players and stuff like that, they're essentially putting their job on the line, their reputation on the line. So they might not just believe what Twitter says or what a couple of writers say. They might feel like, man, let me call up Coach Tomlin himself and talk to him. Let me call up Kevin Colbert and see what that guy's saying.
Because they're not going to play Mason down.
Right, exactly. And then from there, they're going to sell it to him. And now you just hope that they buy it. You know, you hope they go with it. But they haven't seen it in person just yet. Now, when it gets to the preseason, the games actually start. Well, now you can't hide them. Now it is what it is. But as long as it's not on game tape just yet, it's still a mystery.
How are you feeling?
In terms of Mason and his trade market, I don't think you get anything better than a 5th or a 6th round tops.
That's what I'm thinking. If that's the case, I'd rather just keep him there.
But then my rebuttal is, would I rather at least get a 5th or 6th round pick, or would I rather cut him and get nothing? Because that's the other alternative, right?
You think we're going to cut him?
Well, not necessarily, but because in the chat, obviously people are high on Haskins, but they even like Dobbs right now over Mason. That's just based on what the chat has been saying, right? So just for conversational purposes, if that was the case, you're not going to keep 4 guys and you're not going to have Mason on a practice squad either. So what are you going to do with him? You would end up releasing him. That's what I'm saying. If that was the case, if they did go this Haskins Dobbs route, I don't necessarily think they're going to do that just Mason. Yet.
Yeah.
But then again, I think about how 3 years ago now, when this was Landry Jones in this situation, Mason and Dobbs, and we all said, man, there's no way they're going to get rid of Landry. No way, not a chance. And what did they do? They surprised us all.
So, yeah, because Landry was the number 2.
It had been the number 2 for years. Had just re-signed for, I think it was $3-4 million as well. Similar to Mason's contract in that $5 million range. And then from there, we saw what happened. So it's not a foregone conclusion that Mason is making that team either.
Okay,
that's kind of what I was saying. Like if you thought you would cut him or anything like that, then I would much rather trade him. But if you think that, I'd rather have him and let him ride for a little bit, all right, you go that route.
I'm just assuming we're not cutting him. That's the thing.
Okay.
So that's why I say don't make the trade right now. But you're right. If you think they are cutting him, make the trade. Well, that's just getting value for someone that's not even going to be on the team anymore.
True. And that is a good question, though. In terms of in the chat, I know we've had a ton of people talking about the trade element for Mason. But if you think he's going to get cut, let us know that as well, because that changes it, right? If we're thinking that he's going to make the roster and we're just saying, okay, would you trade him just to trade him? Well, now that value becomes different. But if we're thinking that he's going to be released anyways, now it's a totally different conversation, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, I think he'll be on the roster. I think it's going to be this competition with Haskins for QB2. Whoever doesn't win, they're just going to be QB3, and that's going to be it. I'd rather just have that insurance for this season. I don't want to experience 2019 again. But if we're saying third or fourth round pick,
2019 had you scarred, bro.
Yeah, if we're saying third or fourth round pick, let's do it. I just think with either Mason or Haskins, if Haskins impresses in preseason, Mason is still looking fine. No matter who gets injured or whatnot, and if we have to get through a game or two, like, that's what I want. I just want to know that we can win a game. I'm not sure we could necessarily do that with Dobbs. I feel more confident with Mason and Haskins. Yeah. That's all.
I can respect.
And I don't want to just completely give that away for a fifth or sixth round pick. Third or fourth, I'm more open to it.
No, I agree, man. I want him. I want to see him perform. I do. I want to see him get a chance to either prove us right or prove us wrong. But the premature movement,
no, yeah, I don't want to see that,
because I do agree with that sentiment. Now, I don't think it was premature when they made that move. Was that 2 years ago when they traded Dobbs? I don't think it was premature because it was after the full preseason was over with, and none of us could account for Ben going down like that early in the season. But if they were to make a move on Mason or any of those guys right now, before we've seen them in game situations, that to me is premature. That to me, you don't really know what you have. But the reason in terms of trading why the value is different is also the need. Right now, the Colts have a bigger need. They have the need for a quarterback. And depending on the reports on Wentz and how long it is, significant it is, then that adds to the...
They're a playoff caliber team.
Right. So
they have one of the best rosters in the NFL.
It'll add to that need to get a guy. So Mason's value could increase a little bit with that team. But once the Colts fill that void or Wentz comes back, well, now Mason's stock drastically goes back down. So that could be another thing, thinking of just like stocks and bonds and stuff like that, of how long do I hold this stock? Am I holding it too long, or am I holding it to, did I sell it too soon? Like, that's the thing with Mason right now. If you were going to go that route, that you got to start factoring in.
Yeah, the other question then is, though, how do the Colts feel about Jacob Eason? What if they view Eason and Mason as equals, essentially? Because Eason was actually a pretty decent prospect coming out of college.
Yeah.
He fell off a little bit. I don't think his senior year was up to par with what it should have been. He got bounced around a little bit too, like Georgia, then to Washington. But he always had like a big arm. I think people comped him to Stafford. Fell in the draft. And if the Colts see him equal, if not like a little bit more upside than Mason, they might not even want to make the move. They might want a veteran starter who's more of a journeyman, just like,
like
in
the
case
Jacoby Brissett type.
Jacoby Brissett, Fitzpatrick, even though he's going to be starting for Washington.
Even what was the boy, Brian Hoyer? He was another one that was like that.
Yeah, maybe they
started, been around, just a ton of ball.
Like, I don't know who is a backup these days that kind of fits that mold right off the top of my head.
Hold on, what's the cat that was in? He was living in Houston, but was playing in Philly. Was that McCown, right?
Well, I guess Tyrod Taylor's not bad.
But he's probably going to be starting on in Houston right now.
No, you're right. You're right. But that's not a bad example. Who were you saying?
I was talking about he started for Philly in the playoffs. Oh my goodness. McCown, right? What's his name?
Oh no, he's got to be retired now.
Well, they said that a year ago he was supposed to be retired. Think about it. It was a year ago. Yeah.
Josh McCown.
Yeah. He was supposed to be retired then, remember? And that was the whole thing because of the COVID list. Why they said he was employed, he was coaching ball in Houston, but then still on the roster in Philly.
Well, Bortles got cut by the Packers, so maybe he's available for them.
Hey, man, you got some options here, man. But before we get back to check, because I did put up a poll, and shout out, somebody had recommended that too, man. Let me see where they were at.
I did see that.
Yeah, they were like, put up a poll, and I was like, you know what? Steven Carpenter.
This thing's official.
Just put up a poll. I was like, you know, that's a great idea.
I'm going to answer it. Will Mason be cut?
Shout out to you, man, for that idea to put up a poll,
I'm saying no.
A lot of people are saying no right now, actually, man.
Yeah, do you have the percentages?
Yeah, I'm sitting at 65% right now are saying no.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I just went to 66. So that means we're sitting at 30, 34, 35. It keeps moving a little bit, saying that they do think he would get cut, but a large portion say they don't think Mason is going to get cut. So if that is the case and we don't think he's going to get cut, well, now the trade value becomes a lot more pressing. Now I personally don't want to just give him up for a 5th or 6th round pick.
Me
I'm
neither.
greedy. I want a 4th. You know, if we're talking quarterbacks, we know the value. And if I'm talking about trading him to the Colts, I know y'all have a need. So I'm definitely not going to play easy with you and play a little hardball, baby.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a rivalry down the stretch too.
Absolutely,
if you think about it, who knows? We might be seeing them in the playoffs. We don't play them this season,
but postseason wise,
dude, I expect them. Well, depending on what they do, if they get Mason, I think they would increase their chances of making the playoffs. But
I agree.
Depends on how they feel about Eason. But right now, he's an unknown. If they plug in Mason, they might have a chance with that offensive line and everything.
Well, it would be
just to make the playoffs. I'm not saying Super Bowl contenders or anything, but they could make things interesting.
Mason could go over there and be a poor man's Jimmy Garoppolo. He could do it. Jimmy did that for like that year in San Fran. You know, he could do. I don't think it would be to that full extent of success because obviously Jimmy still passed for over 4,000 yards, still led him to the Super Bowl. But I think that he could be in that same vein with the Colts offense just because of how well that offensive line is put together. He would be looking at having crazy time back there. And as a quarterback or just an offense player, when you have extra time like that, typically you're able to be a lot more successful, man. So, yeah.
Steven Carpenter brought up Nick Foles. How disrespectful would that be? Wentz, and then they brought in Foles.
Oh, my God. I am all for that energy, too.
I'm all for it. Dude.
They can't do it. They can't do it.
They should because Reich,
they absolutely should.
Reich has that. Yeah, he has that Eagles connection.
Absolutely.
I mean,
bro, you want to piss off Winston in Indianapolis. You text Nick Foles. You bring up Nick's name in that meeting. Oh, baby, it's over.
If they want to win games, though, man, they don't want to mess around.
It is over.
I'm sure they could get a deal done because wasn't the Bears head coach? Yes. They're all part of that Eagles program.
They could easily do that, man. Wow. Easily.
Wow, that'd be bad.
That would be. Oh my God. Hey, we got a new upper room member as well, man. Shout out to Luca. Luca, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. It's kind of weird. I feel like I haven't said that in a while, man. Being on vacay, man. Gosh.
Oh, I thought you meant like talking about Luca.
Man, well, I like Luca as well, man. Shout out. He is going nuts.
I haven't been paying attention to too much
right now, bro. Now he's been going fire. Team USA has been struggling. The sprint events though, they just finished up, man. It was awesome, bro.
We're back on track though, right? We lost the first game.
Yeah, so we were losing exhibitions though. So now,
no, we lost the first official one too.
Yeah, well, now this is the semifinal though, right here. I want to say, yeah, because they're supposed to be matching up. Oh my goodness, because we're either the 1 or the 2 seed. I can't remember right now, but
so we finished the round robin.
Yeah, but it was a mix, bro. Like in terms of, oh my goodness, it's not Slovenia that's the number 2 team right now. Oh my gosh,
I could try to look it up.
I'm still drawing a blank because I literally just saw the post of it. I'm like, oh yeah, that was the one. That was the 2.
It might be tough to find all this just off a quick Google search. Men's tournament. We're playing Spain tomorrow, 12:40 a.m.
That might be it then.
Let me try to find real quick. I don't want to belabor this if I can't find this. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to find this. So they're playing Spain. I mean, as long as they're still in it, so we should be the favorite every time. But yeah, we lost.
No, we should not be the favorite every time. Stop it.
We lost the first one. I mean, dude, we got all-stars left and right. These other teams.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Now they're saying international ball is a little bit different.
It's drastically
different. The rules and some of the spacing and everything.
Yeah, the spacing, the way they officiate it. It's a lot more of a.
They don't fall for the flops as much.
Not at all, and we know in America we flop a lot right now, man. But then also people were getting on Popovich's substitution patterns as well. Say he's subbing more like an all-star game versus like actually situational subbing and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you should just keep the top 5 in. Like what's our starters? KD, Lillard, Jason Tatum. Dude, it's been
games where I've seen KD have like 7 points. I'm just like,
yeah, that can't be the case.
What are we doing here, bro?
That can't be the case. We got Q though saying. Back to the trade talk, trade Rudolph and Snell. We talked about Snell a couple weeks ago.
About him.
What did we say?
Indianapolis definitely when they need a running back, though. They probably
That's still for the Rams.
Oh, okay.
Probably just trade them in general.
Yeah, because I was like, Indianapolis, they're 3-headed monsters right there.
I have the same sentiment with Snell. Like, just keep him around. I don't think there's any reason to rush this trade.
For me, I think I would much rather have Snell here than Mason off the top of my head right now. Just because I know with Benny has Benny has flashed at moments. The biggest thing with Benny is ball security. Can he continue to just protect the ball? If he does that, it's a different conversation. It's a different perspective around him, as we've talked about. And even watching him at camp, he's another guy that's been looking good. Him and Anthony McFarland.
People are talking highly on McFarland.
I would say McFarland. The thing with McFarland, think about last year, he was more road runner, right? He's super fast, but he's all over the place, man. Can never catch that traction, can never look under control. Whereas now, he's under control. Now, think Ray McCloud in terms of acceleration, but without the falling down. Because that was the difference with McFarland last year. McFarland was just as fast as Ray, but Ray was under control. McFarland wasn't. That's the difference. When I watch McFarland right now, I'm just like, whoa. This is what we expect. This is what it should look like. Now they're using him in some ways where I'm just like, all right, get that man the ball, because with the jet sweeps and stuff like that, that's the Matt Canada staple. Those are things where I'm like, yo, you're getting him that ball fast like that. That can be special right here because of his ability, his vision, his speed and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, man, I've definitely been impressed with him as well, man.
We got a lot of weapons out there.
Dude, so far so good, man.
That's what I mean. If he starts living up to the hype, it's like, holy hell, we're like 4 receivers deep, got 2 solid tight ends. Now we can have maybe 2 or 3 running backs that can be making some impact. It's crazy. Now go ahead, yeah.
Oh, no. And I was going to say too, man, just in terms of, it's weird. We were trying to compare McFarland to Benny Snell early on, right? In terms of who we would rather have. I still like the concept of having a Benny Snell or having another Najee Harris type body type, man, because McFarland's not going to be able to do the things that they're asking Najee to do. Benny is closer to doing that. And obviously Kalen, he's flashing at times as well. But McFarland, he's kind of like the outlier. So I don't even look at him in the vein of like RB2 or RB3. I think he's going to get his snaps, but I think of him more of like yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. I'm like, yes, that's who he reminds me of in terms of how you utilize him. You're not going to take, Najee or Benny, or even if it was Kalen out the backfield and have McFarland running it in between the tackles. But I do think that they're going to continue to find ways to get him the ball in his hands, and more so around the line of scrimmage, so he can make guys miss and use his athletic ability.
Yeah, I'm amped up. I'm actually good to hear that too, because it did seem last year you saw the ability there, but he was just in over his head at times with some of these runs. And the first game he went off, it was either the Broncos or Texans. I think he had like 40-something yards. Ever since then, there would be holes similar to what he was experiencing there. But then you thought, wow, this could have been a 15, 20-yard game. Yeah. He just stumbled and it was 2 yards. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Especially with us drafting Harris, and our running backs from last year seem to be forgotten about a little bit. Yeah. For good reason. For definite good reason.
Najee,
but to see them step up at least and say like, all right, it doesn't mean I can't make the team.
Right.
Or still have impact. That's pretty cool.
Well, and we said Najee is the clear-cut number 1 back. Like, it's not even a debate. Just eyeball test, productivity, stature. Like, he is clear-cut. He's head and shoulders above the rest of those guys. But when you watch how Benny Snell has performed, when you watch how Anthony McFarland has performed, you're saying you can see where they didn't take this situation and put their head down. Yeah. No, they took it and got pissed off and said, well, we're going to prove that we are just as good as a Najee. And that just makes that room that much better. Now, it's still difficult, though, when I'm watching Benny, because Benny still gets reps behind that same O-line that Najee's getting reps behind. But the difference in terms of why I said we still respect what Najee's doing, because Najee still has the ability that even though we've seen 2 to 3 guys hit him in the backfield, he's still big enough, strong enough that none of those guys are just going to be able to wrap him up and just
even
hold
some
him
of
like
his
that.
Quick cuts that I saw in college were just crazy.
But the thing is, like, for example, if me and you are tackling Najee, right, we're going to be able to, we'll be able to stop his momentum. And if we were trying to tackle him to the ground, obviously we could do that, right? But in this vein of just,
I couldn't.
No, but just hear me out. Just hear me out. in the vein of thud, because that's what it is in practice. It's thud. So all you want to do is just pop a guy up top and let him go. Typically, though, on defense, we want you to know that we stopped you. So we're going to pop it and we're going to hold you for 3 seconds, let you know, like, bro, you're done. You're not going anywhere. Najee, they haven't been able to do that part. So that's why when I say, like, I do still respect it and I like it, and that's why everybody's still so high on him. It's like, I know as a defender, would you have tackled him? Sure. but it wouldn't have been that easy though. Whereas like at times with Benny, because he's smaller, he gets bottled up and you don't get that beautiful finish at the end where it's like, all right, well, yeah, you was tackled, but I guess that was kind of cool at the end. Yeah, that was all right. That was pretty dope right there. We're not seeing that part from him, but that's the difference of
it's just crazy because whenever you say Benny Snell small, that wasn't him coming out of college. It's not even really how I view him. But yeah, when you compare him to Najee, who's like a grown ass man,
he looks little, man. Yeah. The only guy that looks big is Kalen Ballage when he stands next to Najee. The rest of them guys, they look tiny. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, bro, that looked like somebody's dad. That looked like he's playing with his kids right there. Like that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. It's a good problem to have. But that's the difference. Like when I'm watching Najee and they're hitting him in the backfield and he's still big enough, strong enough that he's like, all right, boom, boom, I'm still going to finish this. Whereas with Benny or with McFarland, it's like, they ain't getting up out of that thing. Yeah.
Okay. Now we got another comment here. This is from Let's Go UW.
Okay.
Wyoming, correct?
Wyoming.
Cam didn't seem happy that he missed the tackle on Najee the other day. But real question is, from what I've heard, Bush hasn't been looking that great so far. How concerned should we be?
So
I haven't heard anything about Bush. I haven't heard one tweet, nothing.
I know when I was out there, he was dressed, but he didn't take part in any of the team stuff. So evaluating him right now is, it's kind of like the O-line. You just don't know. I mean, but this is one of the parts where I was a little bit concerned. Just when I said no OTAs, no mini camp. Now we're getting into this portion where you're starting to miss training camp. The slow start becomes a little bit more.
Bush is one of those guys too. We didn't want this to be happening. We thought he'd be getting off to a fast start. It seems like it's the Zach Banner treatment. Yeah, because they're both coming off like the same injuries.
Because like they're both dressed, they're both doing certain individual things, and they're obviously working off to the side. But I know for me, and like I said, my first day was Saturday. I'll be out there, like I said, again today and going forward. So I'll be able to keep track of if he's out there practicing. But he has, like when I was out there, he didn't take part in any of the team stuff. At least Ben wasn't going to do the whole practice, but Ben still came out there and did team portions of it, which is like, all right, that's normal for Ben. Just the way that from my experience, the way that they've always handled Ben in training camp, it's like a 2 days on, 1 day off type concept with him, just because he's going to get all the reps he needs when the season gets here. You don't want to waste any of that during this time of year. But with Devin, he's a younger guy. That's not the same mentality. You want him to get more reps. You want to see more ball. And
especially for this season.
Right, because we're going to lean on him heavy. Now, I will say Robert Spillane, though. Robert Spillane has looked a lot more confident.
Oh.
And I like that as well.
Nice, because the initial reports was like, I saw some bad tweets and play-by-plays on him. Something about Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Maybe there was another thing or two, but I've also
been doing some people dirty.
I've also seen some positive things from him since then, so I'm glad you have it leaning more that way as opposed to earlier on.
Yeah, man. The thing with Spillane, athletically limited in parts, and we know that. So when you talk about Pat, who has been showing some really, really nice ability receiving the ball, catching it, going up in combat, catching stuff like that, I expect all those linebackers to struggle with Pat. That's why I was so high on Pat. Pat gives me E. Brown vibes, but more polished, more well-rounded, can catch consistently and block consistently. Like when I think of Pat, that's my mindset with him. So that's the part that's a little bit different. Even though with Pat, I have caught on to what Coach Tom has been talking about as well.
What do you mean?
So that new narrative in terms of Coach Tom with Pat has been the blocking part. Can you block? Can you block?
I thought he was taking a shot at E. Brown by saying that.
In a sense, but no. But this is the thing, man, because me watching it and understanding like the expectations, trying to think how to put this. He's young.
Okay.
So position looks good. Desire is there. The technique is lacking right now. That's the part where he's got to catch that up. That's still way, way, way far ahead of the situation prior to his arrival. But that's the part where when I hear Coach Thomas saying some of those things, it is a subtle shot at Ebron. For a fact, because that's how Coach Thomas works. It
had to be.
That's how Coach Thomas works. He'll tell you this. If I'm talking to him, I'm talking to everybody. So if I'm telling Pat, hey, I know you can catch, but can you block? Can you block? Show me you can block. Show me you can block. Why am I telling you to show me you can block? Because if you can show me you can block, you could be my tight end number one. Because this guy over here hasn't shown me he can block yet. He's talked about it, but he hasn't shown it to me just yet. If you could show it, that could be yours. So he's hearing it, but he's hearing it and feeling it as well. But it, like I said, it does hold value because he has shown the framework of it. He's just not there right now. But you don't expect him to be there right now, no. 5 practices in.
But you're saying he's already a huge mismatch problem in the receiving game.
Yeah, he can go.
So do you think he can go get that rock? Do you think the swap is happening quicker than we thought potentially? Especially with Ebron's been limited, right?
Yes, and that's the other thing. So once again, it's hard for me to say if it is truly that, or is it more so just the product of Ebron not being available? Well, as it continues to go on, though, I could give you those answers. But right now, it's just, I mean, we're 5 practices right now.
What do you think it is with all these players being limited? Is it just because we're starting a week early, maybe?
No, you know what it is?
What?
It's called pads. When the football pads come out, guys start to say, you know what? Man, it hurt a little bit. I'm not making this up. I promise you. I've seen it every year. And it's not a shot at guys, but every year, guys are the best shape of their lives. I'm 100% healthy. I'm good to go. Pads come out that first day. Injury report fills up. And then as the weeks go on, and you got to think, it was a Friday practice, right? So they had the night. It wasn't even a night practice. It was a 5 p.m. practice, right? It wasn't like your traditional Friday night lights where it's a 7 p.m. start. So you had the earlier Friday practice, and then it wasn't even a quick turnaround 9 a.m., which we typically do in Latrobe. Typically, it's Friday night lights. We're going to hit that thing early the next day. It was still like a regular afternoon practice, but the injury report is filled up when you start having them dudes banging. So, hey, man, it get different. It gets different. And then you got the coach that if a person has shown at any point in time that their injury history might be in question or you want to protect them, they're like, yeah, we're not even going to put this guy out here right now. Like, let's let him heal up a little bit.
How do you think this affects who we see on Thursday?
Put it like this. I think for the guys that we will or won't see on Thursday, TJ, Ben.
TJ's been on the. I don't know if it's injury or they're just saying like, "Hey, bro, we don't need you out there."
No. You know what it is.
What is it? Money
contract. Come on, baby.
Whoa.
We're not gonna. But this is.
I think it's beneficial for both sides.
But that's what I was saying. There's both sides working together on this, because obviously, if TJ isn't showing up because of money, that's not going to be a good look. And if the team in the middle, because they're in the middle of negotiations, that's been public, that's been going on. If they're in the middle of the negotiations and you're telling TJ to go ahead and take every single rep, knowing that if something happens, that's going to change this negotiation, that wouldn't be professional either.
Even if he had the contract, I don't want him out there that much.
But the thing is, TJ is a practice guy.
Okay.
Like, no different than AB. AB was the highest paid receiver in the league, and AB is like, I'm taking every single rep. TJ is like that. TJ wants those reps because that's how you get better. The guys that sit out all the time, it's hard to get better like that. I mean, you think of a guy like Brady, he practices all the time. And it's a reason why he's successful like that. You have to see it. You have to feel it, man. And that's what TJ is like. TJ is like that. He wants to be out there, man. But when you have these type of situations where it's a contract negotiation going on, this is the way that they handle it, where both parties can make sure that we're good, we're in agreement. Nobody's going to look bad here, but we're going to make sure that we taking care of the business. And that's ultimately what that is right there.
Okay.
Because TJ is healthy. TJ looks great. He's good to go. But we also know that he's about to be in line for that big boy contract. So that's the whole thing with him right now, man.
Okay. So those are a couple names. Maybe we could get to that a little bit later because we do have a Hall of Fame game like topic. As opposed like going through like, oh, who do we think we're going to see? Who do we not think we're going to see?
Absolutely, man.
Do you want me to go through some more of the training camp names?
Yeah, let's do a couple more training camp names, and then from there, because I'll start the 10 o'clock hour.
Okay.
And then from there, man, we'll transition to who we think Hall of Fame game, and then we'll end it with our Hall of Honor.
Okay, perfect.
So that's how we'll rock with it, man.
All right, so Haskins, we talked about him already enough, right, with the Mason conversation.
Haskins definitely arrow pointed up, man. I like it. I like what I've seen so far from him, and I like what I've read so far from him. But more so, he just looks confident. He looks just calm out there. And that's the part where I'm like, all right, I like that. Let's see more of that. Let's see more of that.
Alex Highsmith.
Oh, the truth.
Like legit?
He's ready.
Really?
He's ready. I want to, and this is going to be the other issue with Alex, similar to how I talked about James Pierre, but a little bit more confident in Alex because we've seen him do it already in the stadium. Like I said, the O-line that he's went against so far, it's not going to be the O-line that he's going to see on Sundays. So he's making it look like what it's supposed to look like. He's ragdolling anybody whether it's a tight end, whether it's a
You're seeing enough from his new moves, whatever the hell he's doing, that it's like it doesn't matter who's in front of him. Yeah, he's a little bit different.
He's a buzzsaw right now. Like he's the guy that you don't want to be lined up against in training. Every year is somebody that's gonna pop up and he's like, oh, that's that guy right now. Highsmith's that guy right now.
Okay, so it makes you feel a little bit better about us not having Dupree back.
I am super confident in Highsmith right now, but once again, we have to take it with that caveat because this O-line is not the O-line that he's going to be seeing on Sundays. And even with the O-lines that he might see on Sundays, it still might not be what he's going to be out there dealing with just because we know what our situation is up front. But he's definitely making it look like what it's supposed. If you're going out there and it's supposed to be inferior competition, you should make it look like that. I don't want to see any ties. I don't want to see any, it was a debatable. I don't want none of that. I want it to look gory. They should never be able to run that ball to the right side. And right now, when he is out there, they're not running that ball that way, bro. It's a joke.
That's good to hear.
Like, it is a joke when they try to run to his side right now.
Here's a name then to stay with the edge rushers. I actually haven't heard as much about as Melvin Ingram then.
Well, I'll say this, man. The biggest difference right now from what I saw versus what I've been reading, Alex is out there every single time. Whereas with Melvin, it's not like they're rotating him, but you can tell they're easing him into it. Because you also have to remember, he doesn't know everything just yet. This is 5 days of him being here, probably 7 days of him being in Pittsburgh. So him and Quincy Roche, Quincy has been getting a little bit more reps with some of the better players in terms of like your 1 unit or 2 unit. And that's also why he's been a little bit better as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of that situation with Melvin. Not necessarily Melvin playing bad. It's just they're treating him right. Like, hey, first off, you're a vet. Second off, you're new. And we're not going to just throw you out there and expect you to just on day 1 or day 3 have all that down and have all that down. But whenever he is out there, he's still getting it.
Okay.
He's still
awesome.
Getting it. But it does look a little bit more 2020-ish, not 2019-ish.
Oh, that hurts.
Now it's early, but I will throw that out there. Now we said 2020 is still a starter, but
I was gonna say
Alex playing like how he's playing right now beats out that 2021.
Eases that concern, but we also said when we signed him, worst case scenario, he's a depth guy for us, which is something we needed already, a talented depth guy. Yeah. So okay, if that's the case, and if Highsmith's performing how we're talking about right here, then it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, even in the chat, they agree. Like John Doe, he agrees, man. Highsmith has been going crazy. Manuel Molina, he says he's looking forward to seeing some of those highlights of him killing it. Kenneth Beamer as well he says that Alex is going to have a breakout season. I agree with those sentiments. Like, I'm extremely hype about him because like he looks confident. Like, it's certain players, they just get that switch where it's just like, okay, it's slowing down for him now. He's starting to see the game differently now. And it might not even show up in terms of you watching a practice and saying, oh, he had 5 sacks today, or he had 3 sacks a day. But you can just, the football people, you can watch his demeanor and you're like, this dude's ready to play. Like, even with the competition that he's lined up against, he's still ready to play. And that to me is where I'm like, okay, he remember we talked about James Pierre, he's already in that category. I'm ready to see you in games. Highsmith, you're in that category. I gotta see you in the game. I know, this not going to change in practice. We're going to go out there today. It's going to look the exact same. He's going to be ragdolling whoever they put over there. And I fully expect that. And it's not going to surprise me anymore. But I need to see him in the game now. That's where we're at, baby. That's where we're at. He's graduated.
I think I got maybe 1 or 2 more names. Justin Lane. Unfortunate news. We're high on Pierre, but Justin Lane stalked down.
Yeah. So remember I was just talking about the confidence element?
That's what it is.
I haven't seen it with Justin. He hasn't. I mean, he's still athletic. He's still, if you're talking about passing the eyeball test, he's going to do that over James Pierre, but the confidence isn't there. And play in and play out is still, technique-wise, it's not as consistent as it should be. Now, I'm going to watch him a lot more today because I was really, like I said, Pierre was my guy. I had to see that. But now I'm definitely going to dive in even more on Justin. But from what I saw initially, that's what it looked like. It looked like, once again, the confidence wasn't the same in terms of like when we speak on Alex Highsmith. Alex Highsmith looks like he's a 6-year vet right now. Just in demeanor. That's what I mean. Like in demeanor, he's not looking around. He's not skittish or nervous. Like he looks like he knows what he's doing. He knows I can do my assignment and I'm going to do it at a high level. Whereas with Justin right now, I'm not necessarily seeing that in his body language. So and you're talking about playing that cornerback where, you know, that type of stuff, it's legit. Your body language, your mentality, like you got to be locked in because we know out there corners pass or fail and you don't have hope. So we'll see if that changes, but that's kind of like the sentiment with him right now, man.
It goes back to stuff we've talked about in the past, man. About mentality. No, but about mentality.
No, you were good. You were good. Steven hit me with he's living life in the fast lane.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yo, y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? So now you see why I look. I was like, oh, wow. Like, thanks. But in the meantime, Kenneth Beamer, you're right, man. Kenneth Beamer says hit the like button. That's what he says, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, we agree with you, Kenneth. We agree because, I mean, like you said, 358 in here right now, 100 likes. Yeah, man, the algorithms, they're going to be confused. Are these bots? That's what we're going to ask. Are these bots?
Yeah, let them know you're human out here.
Yeah.
But mentality, just real quick, like you being a 6th rounder and even like James Pierre, undrafted, right?
Yeah.
Undrafted. The difference between Pierre, you versus other players in the league that may have had less success or got bounced out early. Mm-hmm. You've talked about it. It's just simply like mentality because Justin Lane, in terms of athleticism, mentality, he's a 3rd round pick. Mm-hmm. But how do you explain James Pierre?
No, was he 2nd round?
3rd. He was 3rd.
He was 3rd. Yeah, because that was Washington, right? James Washington was 2nd round that year.
I think so.
Yeah.
But how do you explain? Because it is the opposite. Like the reports that we're talking about, Lane, is the exact opposite report of what you're talking about with James Pierre.
Yeah, man.
That's what it comes down to because it's pretty damn equal, really. Yeah.
I mean, the mindset, the mentality, man. Some people have it. Some people don't. Some people can handle having quote unquote success early in terms of draft status versus other guys not being able to handle that. I know for me, man, it's probably best case scenario that I was in the 6th round because it made me be pissed off every single day. Whereas if I'm a 2nd, 3rd rounder, it might not be the same. It's kind of hard to be pissed off when you're looking at when you look in your bank account, you're like, oh, you gave me this and I haven't had to do anything just yet. Because that's kind of what it happened, like how it is. I mean, when you come in as a rookie, you're paid off of what you did collegiately. You haven't done anything in the league yet. Najee hasn't done anything in the league just yet based on what he's been paid. But some people, they get that and they're like, well, you know what? I could take my foot off the gas a little bit. Whereas other guys, they operate differently. TJ Watt, for example, comes in, 1st round pick. Doesn't matter. He's still going to grind. But then we've seen other guys that come in, get paid early, and it's not the same.
AB, when he got the money, though, too, you just said he was out there practicing no matter what.
Everybody's different,
and then you'd expect TJ to probably be the same. He gets his money. If he's the practice guy,
he's going to be out there just ready to go.
Michael Jordan type of shit, like Kobe Bryant, like it's not about the money for them, really.
Absolutely. And even L. Bell, when he was in Pittsburgh with us, he was a similar guy where it was like, yo, he's going to be out there grinding, practicing.
So you said like, AB and Bell were the hardest workers.
Like it was a joke, like to mention anybody, even Debo, I would be like, yo, Debo is like that in the weight room. But it's different compared to like with these dudes, man. I'm talking, they're going to take 60 reps in practice, but still run an extra 40, 50 sprints in between those reps. Like, that's crazy. They're going to run the conditioning test with every position group and be first in line with every group. Like, that's different. Not everybody's doing that. That's, you know, when you talk about a TJ Watt, when you talk about a James Pierre, the guys just love the grind. They love the process of it, not the finished product. They love the Monday through Saturday. James Pierre gives me those vibes when I'm watching him, and I'm just like, it's showing up. Whereas with Justin, I don't know if it's not there for him, but it's not showing up on tape for him.
Yeah, it's hard to judge that completely from afar, but at the end of the day, it is what you're putting out on the field.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like, it could be that he's preparing and studying. It just gets out there and he's not able to process it and put it on tape. I've been with teammates like that as well. You ask a guy on Thursday or before you go out there to practice, hey, what are the checks for the day? Boom, 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 boom. All right, what are the empties? All right, boom, 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 boom. Okay, what are we looking for? Boom, 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 boom. And then you get out there and the first play and he's like, and you're like, bro, come on. I've seen that as well. And some people are like that. Maybe Justin's like that. I don't know. But it's whatever it is, it's just not showing up the way it needs to show up right now, man.
Last name, Isaiah Loudermilk.
Oh, now I haven't seen him enough yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on my list of people to watch. Was not paying attention to him like that first day. So not going to give him a yay or nay just because, like I said, I haven't seen him personally.
How about one more name actually then? Kendrick Green.
Now, I do like what I've seen from him. Number one, he can snap.
Well, I've heard one or two reports about a snap malfunction.
Yeah. Now,
I don't know if that's blown out of
what I was there.
Okay,
it looked fine. I wasn't there on my other days now.
Okay,
but from what I saw,
it was maybe one tweet or two. I don't know how many snaps he's been taking, so that may just happen because he's taking so many reps. But
I will say this as well. Now, when I was out there, it was Rashad Coward. That's who was next
center.
to. No, he was at left guard because Dotson wasn't practicing, and that threw me off. He was actually all right, though. I will say that. That was that we picked up from Chicago this offseason.
I think out of the depth guys, they have been highest on Coward.
Yeah, I was going to say, he actually he was straight. Like, it wasn't what we thought it would be, you know, because obviously, oh, man, Chicago is not the best O-line, and the reports about him, he wasn't the best. It didn't look like that. But as a whole, it's still hard to say anybody in that unit is playing well when it looks
everyone's
like
just getting smoked.
And that's the thing. So could Rashad be playing well on this play, but on the backside of that tackle, the dude gets beat and it's still a tackle for loss? Like, how do I sit here and be, oh yeah, that was a good job? No, because with O-line, it's the group. It's, you know, it's not just one guy. No. It's we all pass or we all failed. If he gives up a sack, we all suck. You know, if we all keep 7 clean, we all play great. Like, that's how it works right now, man. So that's the only thing with them. But I really want to see the group together. I need to see the continuity, man. That's the part that's making me nervous, man.
Yeah, because there was a couple things about Green that were positive, where it was like, oh, goes out, breaks open a run for Najee, 20-yard gain. I don't know how much of that 20-yard gain, like you said, is like they were hitting him, but it's not like it would be in the game.
Well, I mean, because I even think of, for example, and this is a simple play. I did see this get tweeted. I was like the first day of pads. Najee breaks. It was like a 20-yard run on the left side of the field, right? And I'm looking at the tight end who's coming over to kick out block the corner or safety. I think it might have been a corner. I think it was Cam Sutton, though. They was coming to kick out, and we had the inside linebacker there. And I'm looking. I don't remember which tight end it was, but I'm watching the play, and I'm like, this tight end was going to get folded up because he was way like super high, and the corner is clearly chilling. But with that, it makes it where it's a little bit more space for Najee to actually run that play and have that type of burst. And now the linebacker is over there, he tags him, but it looks good. In real speed, Cam Sutton is going to hit that dude coming in there standing tree top tall. And if it's a safety, if it's Edmonds probably going to kill that dude. So that's the part where I'm just like, it's things that I see like that. I'm like, that has to improve. That has to improve. And we're not seeing that just yet. Now, it could be changing once these guys get back healthy, but
yeah, hopefully.
Those are those type of things right now, man, that it still just keeps popping up. I'm like, I don't like this. But shout out to Rashawn Jones as well, man. Welcome to the upper room. Yes.
Shout out.
Indeed, baby. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's how they call my man Rashad Call of Duty coward.
Oh, yeah. That's how the news got dropped.
Absolutely.
I remember that. John Morant's in the chat, man.
Oh, we got Ja. Ja, he just supposed to be training, man. What's going on? Ja here all season going, baby. Oh, I do see it now. And they talking about the tight end on the play was Ebron. All right, hey. I didn't want to drop a name on that one, but y'all seen that video as well. Though. Yes, I wasn't sold. I'm sorry. I did like the speech though. You know, about what the tight ends got to be this year. I was like, all right.
Who are you talking about?
No,
I'm sorry, I was coughing for a second.
You're good. They had brought up the play because they were talking about it was Ebron on the play of the video that clipped
the
out,
tight
whatever.
end.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you know what? I wasn't gonna say his name, but since y'all here brought it up, but I was like, I do like the fact that his speech about you got to be badasses, man. That's what they got to be in that tight end room. I'm like, you know what? That's a start right there. That's a start. So let's keep that thing going, man. All right.
Yeah, maybe with us drafting Pat Freiermuth, there's just a new energy now.
That's what it is, man. They tough guys in there. I like that.
It might be.
Let's hope.
We got another upper room member.
Uh-oh, where we at?
That.
Oh, y'all wild.
You could just say that boy.
That boy. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we got to be politically correct here. We can't be saying those words. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Come on, you trying to get us kicked out here, bro?
No, I wasn't. I had to pause. We both paused. Yeah, we were savvy about it.
Just that boy. Just that boy. Yeah. Family friendly here, man. But yeah, so do we have any other standouts. I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I think we're good.
Because those are the main guys that
we could legit go through every name. You know what I mean? I think we're good.
And obviously, like I said, because we do have the extra show now, man. We will be going 3 days a week now. We will be able to talk about these guys a lot more and bring up new names. Like I said, when I go out here today, I'm going to see some other guys out there, right? Evaluating them, see what they look like. And then with the practices after that. So we got you, man. We're going to make sure we get this thing going the right way, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We got another upper room member. Berg City 6-time champions.
Oh, shoot. All right. Well, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that boy, I do feel you in terms of he said he was tired. He got his comments kept getting, ignored. It happens sometimes when we get these conversations going where we got a lot of info we trying to get out and stuff like that. And it's the first day back for yours truly. So that is another reason why, we haven't been able to dive as deep. But I got y'all, baby. Because on our Wednesday show and when we do our shows after the game, so obviously the game is Thursday, we'll be having a morning show the day after the game, right? That's going to always be our thing. We're going to make sure we have a phone line available for you to call into, okay? Call into it, get it off your chest, and then we're going to make sure that we got a chance to fully dive into these comments a lot deeper as well, man. So trust, we got you, all right? We're not neglecting. And since you're a part of the members, that is the membership perk as well in terms of being able to have access to that phone line. So shout out to y'all for that. But yeah, baby.
That's actually a really good point because naturally throughout the live shows, you're going to miss comments.
Yeah.
But like if there's something you've been thinking about that's been on your mind, to get it through the phone line, that's something like we'll definitely hear. And whether we get it on that show, a different show, whatever it is, at least we'll be able to like hear it and go through it right off the bat.
Man. So like I said, man, we've been trying to make sure that we make this the best experience for all of us, because we appreciate y'all when y'all be getting these comments in here, man. But at the same time, we also like, man, we got to stay on track a little bit, man.
Oh, no,
we got to,
100%.
So, it's that give and take. But either way, man, we're making it work for everybody here.
What do we got next?
All righty. So, man, let's hop into this Hall of Fame game, man, in terms of who we are looking forward to seeing the most. All right.
You want to go first?
Give me 1 second here. Boom. Had to make sure I was doing that thing right over here, man. You know what I'm saying? I try to make it look cool every once in a while, man.
It is what it is.
Every once in a while, I try to...
It is what it is. You're the DJ out here.
Man, every once in a while, let me have a little bit of fun every once in a while. But, the guys that I'm most excited to see, number one is Haskins. Like I said, seeing him yesterday, I'm excited to see him again today and the rest of this week. He's the guy for me where if it's on air, he's going to look great. If he has time, he looks great. Like in a practice setting, he's going to flash. I need to see it in a game where he knows he's going to get hit, where he might not be behind the O-line that has a little bit of an advantage right now. He might be out there with this group and it's like, hey, man, this ain't looking too good here. I want to see how he handles that. I want to see how he handles a little bit of adversity, whether it's a bad play, whether it's him taking a hit, whether it's, they're backed up. I want to see that from him because that's the next step in his progression. We've seen him kind of put the maturity stuff to bed, right? We've seen him kind of be chill, even with some, adversity this offseason. Now, granted, it wasn't because of his actions directly, but he still handled it well. So now I'm ready to see, can you take the playing maturity and be more consistent with that in stadium where it actually counts?
And, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him for this preseason, being the first round pick and then just how everything ended in Washington. Then going to an organization like the Steelers, even like we're the most known franchise in the NFL.
Absolutely,
we talk about
man.
we're the world's team, most publicity out there. So there's going to be a lot of people just looking to see how Haskins responds to this last year and how everything played out in these games. So it's 100% a good point.
Absolutely, man. So he's definitely the first one. John Texas brings up a good point here. He says James Washington is the king of the preseason. I agree. So if you're Dwayne Haskins, you just want to make sure you lined up whenever James Washington is out there. That's what you need to be saying. Hey, James, are you in right now? I'm coming in on this play. You not in? Okay, I'm not coming on this play. Because, James, his preseason body count is filthy. Like, my man do people dirty in the preseason, man. I love that, baby. I love that.
And he might have a lot of opportunities this preseason because he's still the fourth receiver. as much as we do like him, think he's underrated, but Deontay, Claypool, and Juju, I don't know what you're thinking about how much time those guys are going to be getting. I'm assuming it's only a couple series. I hope so. I don't want to see them out there for that much.
Yeah, couple series max. Like, honestly, I'm like Juju. I don't think Juju dresses for this. I don't think Hayden dresses for this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like those type of guys, just because the history of the Hall of Fame game with us and how we've had, a season altered drastically by losing a person in the Hall of Fame game. I feel like since then, we ain't looking at that game the same. We not trying to have that action, man. They ain't taking them chances out there.
So Deontay and Claypool maybe for a couple series.
Tops.
I don't even know if I want to see that though. The way the way we're talking about the turf and just who knows what could be happening.
Yeah, I don't want to see it, man. But I think we'll see Claypool a little just because he's going into year 2. With Coach Tomlin, year 2 and year 1 guys he wants to see. So Najee, even though Najee is the first round pick, I expect to see Najee out there. I remember seeing Ryan Shazier playing a ton of snaps, and you're like, ooh, this year 2. And Shay,
Devin Bush did too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Coach, like, that's one of his things. It's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but that's what he likes to do. So I do expect to see Najee out there. I do think we will see Claypool out there as well. I don't know how much we'll see Deontay because he's kind of graduated a little bit, but the question marks with him is, okay, we're seeing you catch it a little bit more consistently now. You got to do it in the stadium, though. So I don't know Coach Thomas' feelings completely with that because that's more of a one-off scenario. But them younger dudes, they going to be out there.
Yeah.
Maybe not a crazy amount, but like Cam Sutton, he's going to be out there. You know, like it's certain guys that are going to play. Yeah.
Devin Bush?
I don't think they will. Put it like this. If Devin's not out there practicing today, I don't think he plays on Thursday. Just because it's like you're looking at the way the practices are set up, how many are remaining. They're not going to have him playing in a game, and he hasn't even been able to do 2 practices under his belt for the preseason because now you start running the injury risk of just throwing a guy out there. And when we talk about getting in game shape physically, that's different. You don't do that on the fly. Like, yeah.
Especially him coming off this injury.
Right. That's asking for another injury to happen, man.
I don't want to see him either. Minka, Edmonds. We thinking anything for them?
No, I don't think they're out there.
Okay.
I don't want to see either of those guys out there. I don't want to see those guys till second, maybe third preseason game. Because for us, we got 4 preseason games this year, which is different. Yeah. Everybody else is playing 3, so their substitutions, the guys that are playing in these games are going to be treated differently. With us having that 4th game, I'm like, I don't need to see that in this week. I don't need to see all them dudes here. Space that thing out in them second and third ones, and it would make it happen that way.
Cam Tuitt, obviously we said TJ.
Yeah. Now with Tuitt, I don't know. Because obviously we know that he dealt with that tragic loss of his brother this offseason, and he's here, but it's still different in terms of how they're handling him, and rightfully so because he wasn't available during OTAs and minicamp, and we are totally understanding of that. But that's the thing with Tua. I don't know if we're going to see him at all during this time frame, or if they're going to use this preseason to gear him back up as if it was a pseudo OTA minicamp for him. That type of draft. Yeah.
What else I guess just O-line then.
Well, no, because I mean, we're getting people in the chat as well asking about Derek Watt. Lady Daniel, she asked me about Derek Watt. Do you see us using him more along with Charlie Doyle? He says, is Derek Watt on the team to please TJ, or is he actually worth it? I will say this, man. They have been using him more. He's been out there more. Okay, he's been out there. He actually had a catch. He had like 2 catches on Saturday, man. It was pretty cool. I was like, all right, Derek, I see you a little bit. In terms of if they're going to really utilize him, on the particular day that I was there, they were doing 7-shot, but then from there, it was more 1st and 10 type plays. It was more 1st and 10, and then they did 2 minutes. So he was out there for like team run 1st and 10 stuff, but then when they got to the passing portion, he ain't gonna be out there. So that was kind of like that thing. But in the preseason, I do anticipate us using him because in the preseason, especially in like, once you get out that first quarter, we don't want these games to go into overtime. We don't want these games to last long. So typically we like to run the ball. So he should get a lot of usage. He should. But we'll see.
Her point was hilarious, though. To say, we actually going to use him, or is he just here for TJ? I mean, my initial reaction when we signed him was he's just here for TJ. And pretty much how we used him last year, he was just here for TJ in reality. Now, regular season, could we use them? And could we use them in an effective way? Maybe. What does that mean? 5 or 6 plays? Because, dude, we have so many weapons. It goes back to what we said last year. Like, if we're putting him on the field, we're taking someone pretty good off.
If you're putting him on the field, you're either taking off Ebron, you're either going to take off Pat Freiermuth, or you're going to be taking off a Juju, or you're taking off a Claypool, or a Deontay. I mean, like, or you're keeping a guy like James Washington from being on the field, a guy like Ray McCloud from being on the field. So that's that. When I think of Derek Watt on the field, I'm just like, I don't see a lot of scenarios where I like him out there on offense unless we're talking situational ball. Unless, like, if we're talking short yardage, don't line up in the gun when we need 1 yard. Can you please get under center and put this fullback out there? He goes and rips somebody's face off. We've seen fullbacks do that, okay? That's what I like. If we're in the goal line, we don't need you line up in the shotgun. No. Just get under center, be more man to them, blow them off the ball. Derek Watt, go put your face on somebody's face, and we make that play happen. That is how I would like to see him utilized on offense. His value on special teams is there. We don't have to talk about that. We know what he brings there. But on offense, that's kind of how I feel. I'm with you, man. I don't need him out there a ton.
I mean, we were complaining about not using Rosie Nix enough.
Yeah.
Whenever he was on the team, and I thought Rosie Nix was a better fullback than Derek Watt. He made a Pro Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, very true, man.
It just doesn't feel like a thing we do. Now, should we be doing it more? That goes back to what I was just saying. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable putting Derek Watt in on a consistent basis and taking out Juju, Pat Freiermuth, whoever it is on offense. Like, we have some pretty damn good weapons. That's my take on it.
I agree, man. I agree. We man, if the O-line could just be what they need to be, we got the weapons, bro.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask them. We have a bunch of these dudes that are limited.
Gosh,
do you think we're gonna see maybe 3 out of the 5 starters, 4 out of the 5 starters
for
this
offensive line? I think maybe Dotson, definitely Kendrick Green. I don't know what's been going on with Chooks in terms of why he wasn't out there.
Yeah.
Like I said, because it was still that whole whirlwind of who's available, who's not available. We didn't get to the whys just yet. So, excuse me, I got to figure out what's going on with Chooks. I don't anticipate us seeing Banner. I don't think that's happening either. Trey Turner, I'd have to, if he's not out there today, I doubt we probably see him either. Just going back to what I was saying, in terms of you don't want to throw these guys in games, preseason games, without them being able to get a couple of padded practices under their belt. When they practice, because I'm trying to think, my schedule is
basically you got to be thinking long term,
right?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Because they got today, tomorrow in pads, but then after that, Wednesday it's going to be a light walkthrough travel day. They're not, but you know what I mean. So if the guy hasn't practiced at least twice this week in pads, you're not putting that dude out there in a game for any amount of rest because it's not safe. That's the other part of it. It's just not safe at all, man. So, and especially in the preseason, it's not worth it either. So that's the difference. Whereas like in a regular season, it works out because these guys have already had the full buildup. They've already gotten themselves in game shape. They've already been acclimated with football pads. Remember, for most of these guys right now in the preseason, they've only had pads on for 4 days. That's not the same in terms of being ready to play in a game. So, yeah, but that's that.
Yeah, especially at this stadium with this turf. I don't know if there's truth to it or just rumors. I don't want to mess around, especially since we do have this extra preseason game.
Yeah, they said they supposedly upgraded the turf, but when I was out there last, it was not the best of field conditions. I'm sure my man Sean Sweesham would agree.
No, definitely.
Yeah. But was there anyone else that we're looking forward to, man?
Excited? Well, James Pierre, obviously.
Yeah.
Alex Highsmith.
Oh, yeah.
Now with Pierre's
going to get a lot of action.
We're just going to be seeing him straight up outside. Do you think we're going to see early on him outside, Cam Sutton inside at all?
No, I think in this first game, I think it'll be Cam Sutton outside and James Pierre outside because I don't think Joe's playing.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, Joe's not going to play in this game. So they'll both have those guys start. And I think that they'll go with Antoine Brooks, though, as the first nickel corner.
Over Millette?
Yeah, I think from what I was seeing, Brooks was getting a ton of opportunities.
He was first on the depth chart.
Yeah, he was getting a
ton
of opportunities. Like I said, I wasn't following Arthur like that, but I know for a fact Brooks was out because for me, anytime we start 7-shot, that is typically the barometer of what the rotations are going to be for that day. And when I look out there with the first unit group, he was one that was out there. And I was like, okay, all right. If you out there to start 7 shot, you the guy that's gonna get those 1 reps today. Yeah.
Highsmith, obviously. Now I got a matchup or two.
Well, because we're gonna hear your matchups as well, because I have seen a person off the beaten path that has been getting brought up as well. I
think I'm seeing the same name.
Okay, you see it. Okay.
But Dallas Cowboys have Micah Parsons.
Yeah, they do.
We have Pat Freiermuth. We have Najee Harris. I'm just saying that could be a pretty cool matchup.
Now, Pat's gonna play for us. Do you think that they're gonna put Parsons out there though for Dallas?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I was just going off. I was going off of us playing Bush a lot his rookie year.
Yeah,
but for the Hall of Fame game specifically, maybe they want to hold off on Parsons out there.
Well, and I just think like some coaches, they are different in terms of how they handle their first round picks. But I would love that matchup. I think that would be beautiful.
Because they were saying Parsons been balling out at Cowboys camp, and we've been hearing with Freiermuth that he's basically uncoverable. I'd love to see that. And then there's going to be points where it's Najee and Parsons too.
Oh yeah, that's worth the price of admission, bro.
So we'll see. At least in the first quarter. Ooh, at least in the first quarter, that'd be fun.
That got me excited. I'm not as excited if we don't have this O-line situation a little bit better, because my man Mike is going to be running and hitting. He's going to be playing downhill.
He might be coming off this game being on cloud 9.
Right. I don't necessarily want that.
This is going to be an all-pro season for him.
Because that could easily be the sentiment for him when he leaves out of that stadium. But, man, I don't know.
I think that's it for me in terms of like players. I'm just excited for the game.
You know who I'm excited to see, man?
Who?
Former Pitt, former JMU alum, Ben DiNucci at quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. That is who I'm interested to see, because I put up a poll on YouTube as well for the people. It's like, yo, which colleges y'all following? Who you looking forward to watching? Pitt was up there. Heavy Pitt. Penn State. Yeah. Heavy. Got a little West Virginia, a little JMU. But Pitt was heavy. And I was like, man, you know, DiNucci, former Pitt. Well, he's more so a JMU alum, but I'm super hyped to see my man DiNucci out there. So, yeah.
Well, he's going to be fighting for a roster spot.
He is,
with that coming back, it's between him, Rush, and Gilbert.
But, man, you heard the reports, though. Jerry, high on him.
DiNucci.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't been tuning in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, high on that guy. High on him. High. But the person that it looks like in the chat that a lot of people are excited to see, it's 2 guys, but this one, he's heavy. Figuratively. For Punter, literally. But we're talking about Percy Harvin here. Percy Harvin.
Someone's saying Percy.
Presley Harvin. Excuse me. Presley. I'm over here. Percy.
I could see why you get that confused, man.
Yeah, you know, that's from the crib right
there. No,
but
people are backing him up. I'm seeing Percy, and then everyone just keeps calling him Percy.
Presley, baby. Come on, like Elvis, baby. But yeah, he's definitely a guy that's going to be fun to watch. Now, I did get a chance to see him doing his little bit of back and forth with Jordan Berry, because when they're punting, obviously, they'll have their full practice with everybody out there 11-on-11 punting competition, but they also do their stuff before practice as well. So getting this chance to see him, super impressive. Consistency is the thing. That's gonna dictate, you know, him making it versus them sticking with Barry. Consistency, because the dude, man, his leg, bro, he can bomb some punts, and you're just like, yo, there is not a single person out here that can do this. Like, special distance, hang time, placement, beautiful. But the consistency part, that's the part.
He'll drop a 20-yarder here and there.
Well, think about how people get on Barry, right? And we talk about in games is different because it's pass or fail, right? So if you only get 3 punts in a game, you have 2 really good ones, 1 bad one. Yeah, we're going to get on you for that 1 bad one. But in a practice setting, you might have 30 punts. And say you only got 3 bad punts out of 30, different perspective. And that's why Barry has been able to last as long as he's last in Pittsburgh. Barry in practice, man, he's going to be consistent. Barry in the games, for the majority of the time, he's going to be consistent. But you do run into these times where he does have one of them ugly shanks, that 30-yarder, that 20-yarder. If Presley, if he can just not have that, we'll be all right. But the thing is, he has to be more consistent right now. And that's the biggest difference with Presley right now compared to Barry. Presley, super impressive. Consistency has to be a little bit better, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind taking my chances with that, though.
I mean, we say that until you're in the stadium.
Sure.
Yeah.
At least he's got that potential, whereas some of these punters we've had in the past, dude, they couldn't bomb it 60, 70 yards. And all they were doing was shanking him left and right. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, we've had some awful punters. That's why
Barry has been able to be here. Barry's not going to give you a 70-yarder.
No, he's been better than basically anyone else we've had over these past couple decades.
He's going to consistently have the 40-yard plus net punting. And that tells you hang time. That tells you distance. Because the net punting, that accounts for the return yardage as well. So if you punt it 60 yards, but they have a 30-yard return, catch the drift right here. You only got a 30-yard net punt. You see what I mean? You're not going to have a 60-yard punt. So for Barry, for him to average a 40-yard net punt, if he's punting the ball 50 yards, it's only 10 yards of return. That's good. That's what you want as a punter in the league. So that accounts for those shanks. That accounts for those bad punts. So the narrative of Barry being this terrible punter is completely false. Completely false. But that's why when we talk about would you be willing to just take that chance on Presley because he can bomb at 70.
We put him on practice squad, worst case?
Well, no, yeah, worst case, yeah. Okay. But I don't necessarily think that it's a foregone conclusion. That's my thing either, yeah. My man, like, Presley looks good. Just got to be consistent. It's 5 days in with pads, baby. We not tripping. I'm not expecting this competition to be done just yet, man. It's day to day.
Dude, don't have him bomb one in this Hall of Fame. It'd be over. It'd be over. It'd be the most viral video. Up to this point, but still, like,
I'm not going to be surprised if he does, though, because I'm telling you, he has a cannon on his leg, bro. Like, because this is my first time seeing him in person, right? I low key wasn't prepared for his size, so like when I was looking on the field, I'm saying to my coach, I'm like, bro, why
is he low key tall?
He's not necessarily tall, but he's built like he's like an overweight Devin Bush,
yeah,
like. He looks like a football player. He doesn't look like a specialist. He looks like a football player. So I'm out here and I'm looking, and he has the single digit. I'm like, yo, why they got these linebackers out here early in practice? Like, this dude super excited to be out here, rookie. And then I look at the number. I'm like, oh, that's the punter. Like, oh, got it. Now I see what they've been saying about him. He's thick, good size, man. But yo, he can bomb some punts though, bro. He can bomb them. But the consistency part, that's gonna be the thing.
It goes back to what we were saying, though. What are we excited to see? I am excited to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a little competition, especially if we're going to have a decent amount of the bigger name players not in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a nice little sideshow for us.
Oh, for a fact. We're going to get in the preseason. I'll just give you the heads up, man. We're going to have a ton of punts, okay? We're going to have a ton of punts. so we're going to get a chance. We're going to get a chance to see this competition. I promise you. It's a ton of punts. Ton of it.
Is that why we're holding the O-line out? We want to make sure special teams is on point.
This is very significant. Very significant.
Man.
Yeah, man. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun, man.
We got anything else for the excitement?
The other person that popped up was Buddy Johnson.
Sure.
Now, Buddy looks impressive size-wise. Just has to get the angles better right now. From what I saw now, granted, it was just one practice that I've seen, and obviously when we get back out here and we do our live on Wednesday, I can give you an updated version of it. But with Buddy, what I saw was he looks good. He fits the part, looks fast enough and things like that. I thought hips-wise he moved well enough. Just the angles with some of the open field attack, because they were doing so we typically do backs on backers one day, right? Then they'll do coverage, right? Running backs versus linebackers, tight ends versus outside linebackers in coverage. And then you got the blocking drills as well, where it's the 6 technique and you have a guy like lined right across from him. So they were doing the open field tackling drill where Buddy, Robert Spillane, and those guys, they have to backpedal 2 to 3 yards. Running backs gonna get the ball. It's gonna be about 10 yards from the hash to the sideline. And you got to make open field tackle. It's very tough to do. At times, Buddy looked good, but at times his angles were off. And that was the part where I'm just like, it's a younger guy thing.
I was going to say, that can't be the end of the world.
No, it's just, he's young. That's it. And when you and he's done the drill before, but when you put the pads on, it's a different speed that goes with it. And they don't do that drill every day. So that was probably his second time doing it with pads. Or it might have been his first time with pads, depending on. No, that would have been the second time because that was the 4th practice. So, yeah, typically every 2 days, how they're switching it. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I
seems
think
like he's on the right trajectory
man.
Then, though.
Him and Spillane, I think, are going to be fine. As long they just got to keep understanding what they struggle in and just continue to find ways to mask it. As long as they can do that, they'll be fine. Because what they do well in terms of being physical, in terms of playing downhill, that has been showing up with both of those guys. So
that's what we need.
Yeah, and that's
exactly what we
man.
need for a dude that's going to be opposite Devin Bush.
Yeah. Somebody was late to the party. Now I got a bone to pick. Can I pause for a second? I usually don't even do this, but I just saw this name pop up. Stephanie Vermeer. She says she's 1 hour and 30 minutes late to the show. Now I gotta say this, man. She's out here in California. But when I posted the link last night, she was like, yo,
so what time is it out there?
Man. She said she ready, 6 a.m. Come on, Stephanie, you gotta be better than that, man. You gotta set that alarm twice.
Oh, I get you. So she said she was gonna show up.
Yeah, man. Then she's gonna oversleep. Come on, man. You gotta wake up next time. Jeez.
Listen, I don't blame her. That's early. That's early. I've done shit like that before.
And then comes in with the flamethrower. She says, I don't trust Spillane as a starter. Sorry.
Oh,
she came in hot. She comes in hot, bro. God.
See, she missed the positive reports you were dropping about Spillane earlier.
She came in, do. Let's get it. But no, man, we appreciate you, Stephanie, man. We do. Even out there on the west side.
We got another upper room member, too.
Oh, I see. And I love the name, too. Jumpman23_31 Gaming. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, but
we got another hot take. Other end of the spectrum. Spillane making a Pro Bowl by 2022. Ooh. So we got someone saying Spillane ain't it. We got someone else saying Spillane Pro Bowl 2022.
That is very drastic. That is very unique. I don't think he's going to be well, you know what? I hope he is a Pro Bowl in 2022. That would be awesome if he is. The only reason I don't necessarily think that is going to be the case because you're going to have a crazy amount of interceptions, sacks, crazy amount of those like splash plays. And I just don't think based on the personnel that we have on defense that he's going to be able to just have one of those crazy type of years because we got so much talent. Like for him to ball out to be a Pro Bowler this year, man, like what does that mean for Devin Bush? You see what I mean? Like, what does that mean for TJ, Minka? Like, unless we're going to have all 11, we can have it. I know Baltimore was that 2 years ago. Baltimore had like 30 guys in the Pro Bowl. We're like, yo, how did y'all do this? Like, y'all picking your long snapper, you're picking your holder, you're picking the kicker. They even picked the clipboard guy on the sideline. I couldn't believe it. Now, if it's that case, then sure, yes, he should get in there. Everybody be in. But typically, you're not going to have that many players in there. And we know TJ, Minka, Cam. We're even anticipating to it, flirting with that a little bit. We're high on Highsmith. I don't know if Pro Bowl high, but we're still high on him though. But you could just see like that's already a ton of names right there. A ton of guys are gonna have to be balling out. So I'm not ready for the Pro Bowl just yet.
Like if he gets over 100, what if he's like a tackling machine? Or do you even think
tackles
that's...
don't get you in the Pro Bowl.
I was going to say, what if he gets like 120, 130 tackles?
Dude, there's been guys with 150 tackles that make the Pro Bowl.
I get what you're saying.
They want interceptions. They want fumble. They want splash plays with the 100. Like, for him to get in, because you got to think he's a true, like, inside linebacker. So now, when you think, let's see, who are the AFC inside linebackers we're talking about? Darius Leonard,
try to pull him up.
Tremaine Edmonds. Who else is in the AFC that I'm drawing a blank on right now?
I'm trying to pull it up.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, because in Baltimore right now, this Patrick Queen, who people are high on. But
yeah, he might be in the mix. I mean, Devin Bush has got to be in the mix.
Yeah, he should be in the mix if he's healthy. Yeah. So I'm just like, it's, you know.
Little Devin Bush and Spillane combo for the Pro Bowl.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me see here.
Yeah, who we have in the AFC? Because I'm drawing a blank on it right now.
How many even make it? Only two inside linebackers make it.
And who were the two last year?
I don't know if this is just starters, though. Hold on. Darius Leonard, Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, those were the starters. All right. Because they ran a 4-3 or a 3-4 in the Pro Bowl.
No, dude, I think that is it.
If it's a 4-3, then yeah, that's all they're going to have for inside. Because who are the outside linebackers? This will tell us right here.
Yeah, because they have two tight ends. Who are the outside three quarterbacks.
I know TJ is one, but what's the other
TJ,
guy?
Bradley, and Matt Judon.
Okay.
But they have four cornerbacks, two free safeties, strong safety. Yeah, that's it. I do remember talking about this where I think they left off an extra position or two. Like they should have had an extra safety, I thought. Probably an extra inside linebacker. Like they have three quarterbacks, but we know why. I mean, quarterbacks like the money position out here. 3 running backs, 4 receivers, 2 tight ends. So yeah, I think they are actually they need to bump up another position or two for defense.
Yeah, just add one more. Yeah, one more, but I'm not sold just yet on the Pro Bowl for my man Spillane just yet. I mean, that is super lofty expectations, but we'll see.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to warrant him being a successful player for us by any stretch.
Heck no, bro. He could go out there and have 60 tackles, but be consistent and not get beat in coverage. And have 2 to 3 sacks, and we'll be over here singing his praise. Like, yo, he balled out. He looked good out here, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Spillane's going to play a ton, but I don't even think he's going to play 100% of the defensive snaps because when you look at when they go sub ball, from what it's looking like, they're going to try to have one of those. Let's see how to put this without dropping the bag completely.
Marcus Allen?
They're going to utilize a person that could cover a little bit better in the box, if that makes sense. All right. Because certain things happen.
You don't want to reveal our strategies.
I can't reveal that. You can get me in trouble with that one because that has not been
that's a couple names, but it gets me amped a little bit.
It's a couple of them, so yeah. But that's the thing with Spillane in terms of why I also don't think he'll be able to get into a Pro Bowl in 2022 because he's the plays.
Well, that's not this year. That's next year.
But I'm just like even more because if it works out the way it's supposed to work out this year, what happened? But yeah, so that was that for him though, man.
Do we have anything else in terms of player excitement for Hall of Fame game?
Those were the main names, man. So I think we are good on that. Yeah. Oh my goodness, because they had brought up this, debate of would they rather have John Bostic versus Robert Spillane?
I'll take my chances with Spillane.
Fair enough.
What do you think?
What am I asking them to do? If I'm pairing Bostic with Devin, I would go Bostic just because he could be in the box.
Sure.
He's a box linebacker. He struggled here because he was next to Vince. Vince the box linebacker, so now you got Bostic trying to cover.
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
Yep.
But Bostic
would fit more of the Vince role for us.
You don't be a 9-10 year starter in this league with multiple teams if you're not.
And he played good last year.
Exactly.
He played pretty good last year.
He played good though, right?
Yeah, better.
Because they put him back in the box.
Yeah.
Here we used him the same way we kind of tried to use Mark Barron and LJ Ford. It's like Bostic's not that type of player. Like he's a box linebacker. You put him in the box and you have him with a cover guy, he's gonna play well.
It's a good point. You might have swayed me.
Hey, it's too late now though, man. We're good.
All right, I'm sticking
rolling
with
what I got, man.
Yep.
We rolling what I got, bro.
Yep, gotta stick with Spillane.
But this is the part though where you just have to be careful with the recency element of it, because with Spillane, right, sample size, if we're talking 5-7 games compared to a guy like Bostic who's done this for almost a decade and has had multiple 100 tackle seasons. Like I don't think he's been to the Pro Bowl, but he's flirted with it as well. So when we think of here in Pittsburgh, and you'll get in the comments if it was like,
he left a bad taste.
Spillane's awesome, man. Bostic's trash. It's like, dude, one played 5 to 7 games total, whereas this other guy has had a full body of work and was technically playing out of position here. Pump breaks a little bit. That's all. Just
I like that.
Just a little bit.
No, that's a good point.
And it's not a knock on Spillane. It's just he's unproven. Like 7 games is a small sample size. Small.
I'm high on Spillane though this year. I think we both are. Man. I think he's gonna do fine. A lot of people in the chat are saying that too.
Well, he's paired right though right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like they're not gonna have Spillane out there trying to be a cover linebacker. When Devin comes back, Devin's gonna be that guy. With some of the pairings we talked about, even with a guy like Antoine Brooks, like they're gonna make sure that they're gonna keep Spillane where he needs to be. He can cover well, sure, but that's not what he specializes in. That's not his bread and butter. So they're gonna put him in the best positions. Whereas when John was here, they didn't have that personnel.
That's when Shazier was out, right?
The personnel wasn't available to make those type of moves to protect those type of guys. So that's the thing with it, man.
Yeah, with us bringing in Bostic, especially the career that he was having with Indy, it was like, oh wow, you know what? Wow, for what happened with us with Shazier, like to bring in Bostic, like this should do. This should do for at least that. It didn't turn out as best as we thought.
He's not a cover guy.
Yeah,
as a box linebacker, man. But yeah, man. So let's get to this last topic, man, before we get about, because we got 15? Yeah, man. We're getting close to that little 11 o'clock. Man, I'm enjoying this though, baby. The first of our new 3 show a week vibe. This is awesome, man. This is a good vibe right here, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Hope the people are enjoying it as well, man. If y'all aren't enjoying it, y'all can just let us know. Y'all can be like, yo, y'all are trash, man. Y'all suck. Right? You got to get up out of here. But if you're liking it, then we'll keep it going, man.
Yeah, definitely.
For the people.
Definitely.
They might be like, yo, why'd you get 3 shows? We wanted you to go down to 1 show. You're going the wrong way.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, though, man, we got to get to this last topic, man, because we want to make sure that it gets its due diligence and we don't want to have to rush it, man. So if you are ready, man, we got to talk about the Hall of Honor class of 2021 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Oh, man, some legendary names in here, man. First off, we got to start with, we'll go in their order.
Okay.
We're going to order. Save the best for last. We're in their order. So John Code was the first one that they revealed. Then from there, they went with Louis Lips. Shout out to Louis Lips. Love the name, by the way. Then from there, went with a former coach of mine, Cornell Lake, a.k.a. C. Lake in the building. Love him. That is my guy. And then, last but certainly not least, the main event, the man of the hour, Tunch Ilkin. Dude, where do we start? Man? This class, and Jason, we see you. I definitely appreciate your support as well. Jason Apricot. Oh, yes, we definitely appreciate you. But when I think of these guys, man, when we start out with a guy like John Cole, for example, man, you talk about a guy, number one, that protected Terry Bradshaw's blind side. But then you think about how he was just so ahead of the game from a nutrition standpoint.
He's ripped right now.
Like, oh yeah, even to this day. Absolutely.
He's like 73 or something. Yeah.
But I think about when he was playing during that time frame, those guys weren't around the clock, nutrition, working out. You listen to Craig Whiffley, you listen to Tunch Ilkin, you listen to a lot of these linemen that played during that time, and they will all tell you the person that got them working out, the person that got them eating better, the person that really got them focusing on the nutritional aspect of football was John Cole. So when we think of him, we typically think of him just this like super strong guy and that's that. But it's like, no, man, like mentally, he was innovative. He was that groundbreaker to let people know that, man, you do need to take care of your body around the clock. And if you do these things, that's going to make you a better player. So to me, like, that was such an awesome thing to see him be able to get that induction as well right now, man.
No, 100%. Actually, to play off that too, after he was done playing, he became, I don't know if it was advisor, he became like a coach.
He was the coach
for the Steelers. So that was the next era of lineman after he retired, and that's what he brought them up in too. Like all those type of things. I think he won. He competed in like the world's strongest man too. He finished like in the top 3 or top 4, maybe even won. I can't remember that, but it goes back to what you're saying. Innovator from that aspect. I'm actually surprised. I was looking at some of his Pro Football Reference for being on the blind side through all those 70 teams. Like he was the starter the whole time.
He went
to not
some
make like
dogs,
a Pro Bowl
bro.
or something.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that.
That's
but
nice, bro.
Yeah, either way, in terms of Steeler Hall of Honor, why not? I'm actually surprised that some of these names weren't in it beforehand, but then I went back and realized they only started this 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
So they've been kind of taking it slow.
When you look at the Hall of Honor for the Steelers, it's like a who's of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm looking at it right now. I don't know if there's any snubs,
every single just dog on that list, man. So, and we haven't even got to the modern guys just yet. We're still backtracking right now. So
we have Hines and Bettis in there from recent teams. Who is Farrier in there?
Farrier is in there. Who else?
Farrier's in there.
Yeah, Farrier's. I'm trying to think. Who
Porter's got to get in.
Yeah, he's not in there yet.
He's not.
Harrison isn't just yet.
Ike should get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Ike should get in.
What about Santonio Holmes? He's another guy I think of.
I'd put him in.
That's what I'm saying.
I would definitely put him in.
Yeah, so we got like plenty of But before we get to those guys just yet, we got to keep giving these guys their flowers, man. So
definitely.
First off, though, like I said, man, big time shout out to John Cope. And plus, that's my 5'5" brother right there. And guest of the show, man. That's the homie.
Yep.
You know, we like him a lot, man. Then from there, Louis Lips. Was offensive rookie of the year in the NFL, man. To me, when I think of Louis, now I didn't get a chance to see him obviously when he was playing because I wasn't watching the Steelers like that. But going back and seeing him on tape, you get an appreciation of his style of play. He was kind of like that innovator of acceleration, starting, stopping, the term jitterbug, man. Like you watch how he plays his movement, man. That's another guy. I'm just like, yo, he kind of gets forgotten about when we talk about the Steeler great wide
a lot
receivers.
Of those players in the 80s.
He gets forgotten about a lot, but I'm like, dude, this dude was a monster. Like, he knew what he was doing. He had the consistency. He had the productivity, the flash. Like, it's Louis freaking Lips, man. And he's super cool. Super cool.
I know you've probably met him and been around him so much more than me. We met him that one time back in 2019.
We had our Steelers basketball league thing we were doing, man. So we had a little, tour, man. 10 game season. Smoked everybody. He could shoot though. Well, we lost once though. We did.
Oh, no way. Who was it?
The Edmond. Was it? Is it Edmonton? The college? Or oh my goodness, it's not
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Yeah, they have a wheelchair team.
Okay.
And they made us play in wheelchairs.
I remember you talking about that.
You talking about that. Listen, most of these games we winning by 50. It's alley-oops. We look like the dream team. That's how it's supposed to look.
Who was open?
Me, Charlie Batch, Josh Dobbs, Louis Lips, Cam Sutton was out there.
No, I mean, who was throwing the alley-oops? Who was dunking?
All of us were. All of us. But West Lions though.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the main one. Yeah, because that's West Lions. Because Saunders was the one from South Carolina. Yeah, so West Lions, the one from West Virginia, I believe correctly. Yeah, he was the one that, because he's like 6'7". So.
Batch is the point guard, huh?
No, Batch.
He wasn't?
No, Batch is the shooter. Batch and Louis Lips shooting threes. Me, Cam Sutton are the guards.
Okay.
Yeah, Cam Sutton, me, Dobbs when he was out there, he's going to handle that rock. And then we had another dude, Keith Kelsey. He was with us for like 2 years on the practice squad out of Louisville. Was there when Lamar was there, actually. He was the other guard that we had. But yeah, bro, man, we got out that thing. Nasty. Until they put us in the wheelchairs. Game over. You think it's like, I didn't realize how hard it is to shoot just sitting with no legs. Like, stationary like this and trying to shoot a legit basketball on a real court.
Sure.
Bro, it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
Sure.
I've never been more humbled in my life. But yes. But going back to Louis, though, man. Louis is that dude, though, bro. Super chill, super cool guy, man. But a crazy productive player, underrated when you think about his numbers. Even on the Steelers all-time receiving list, he's what, 6, I think it is right now. This dude, man, crazy productivity. So super glad to see him be able to get in and get those roses as well, man. Then the third guy on the list, though. Extremely excited about him too, man. Cornell Lake. Talk about a guy that played 2 positions, crazy high level, extremely smart, extremely tough. To me, he falls in that category of like a Donnie Shell or a JT Thomas, where because he was surrounded, just the people he played with and during the time that he played, he doesn't get the same level of love, I feel like, as some of these other guys. But it's like, dude, see Lake in his own right is special, man. A special player, not as a corner, not as just a safety. Like, could do both of those things, and as a leader, like a leader of men. And I can even take you a little bit into the locker room part of it, where you're seeing him as your coach, because he was the secondary coach my 3 years, and then he left that last year. I want to say in 2017, that was the year where he had left. But man, you talk about a guy that even I was learning from, just how he viewed coverage, how he would talk about, hey man, on this route right here, don't jump it this way. You should break on it this way. You listen to a guy like William Gay, the year where he had, 5 pick sixes? The person that he credits that with is Cornell Lake, because we will all be sitting in these rooms with him. And as a linebacker, you're going to have to sit in those coverage rooms. So there's plenty of those times you're in there. He's just like, his attention to detail, his ability to not just be a great player, but to be able to take that from his ability and then verbally convey it to other guys of varying talent. You think about in 2014, 15, and 16, our DBs went through a little bit of a transition right there. So for him to be able to still be relating to some of those guys and making them in some cases be overachievers, that to me is a true testament to him though as well, man.
Yeah, whenever you look up Hall of Fame snubs or potential people that could be getting in the Hall of Fame, he is in that mix, and it goes back to what you said. It's very similar to like Donnie Shell. He does have 5-time Pro Bowls. He's a 1-time All-Pro. Hall of Fame all 1990s team. So for that decade, like he is probably in that mix.
It's just tough. Like the thing is, when you start talking Hall of Fame for the NFL, now you start to nitpick every little thing. But I'm biased, bro. Like, you don't have to sell me on C Lake, man. C Lake is my guy.
Yeah.
And he will knock you out. He will hit you. He gonna put them eyebrows on your eyebrows, and he gonna play the game of who gonna go to sleep first. And he don't like to go to sleep, and that's why I love him. I'm like, yo, C Lake, you different, baby. But major respect to C-Lake, man. But now, it's time we got to talk about the big man. It's time to talk about the headliner of this class. Friend of the fam. My guy, Tunch Ilkin. Man, this is the one where I'm extremely excited about, man. When they revealed him live in terms of being a part of the class at Highsmith for that practice on Saturday, man, the people that were in attendance went nuts, and rightfully so, because you're just like, yo, you know, number one, what he's meant to this organization, not just as a player,
sure,
but you think about as a media broadcaster as well. I mean, this
staples,
dude, like, iconic plays, the San Antonio Holmes catch in the end zone, like, you will never forget that. Like, that's what Tunch brought to the table just from a broadcaster. But then when you think about him as an actual player, it's like, dude, you were a beast. And in the midst of all these things that he could be cocky about, right, or feel like, man, I'm the man, I'm up here with, the most humble guy you will ever come across, man. It's a beautiful situation, and understanding that, you know, he's battling with ALS and it's tragic that he's having to deal with it, but I'm just so happy that he's able to get this honor while he still can appreciate it, while he 100%. Understands it, because we've seen too many times, deserving, man. Too. You know, no question is deserved, but we've seen too many times where a person has to pass away first before they get that chance. Like when we talk about Bill Nunn, for example, it's like he got in the hall, but it's kind of bittersweet because he didn't get a chance to physically experience that and receive those flowers while he was here. So I was very happy to see that Tunch did get that opportunity this year.
No, 100%. I like your point of just the iconic plays, the calls that you hear, whether it's thrown on SportsCenter, whether it's in like an old documentary on NFL Network or something. Him and Bill Hillgrove, like you you recognize it. Like the Ben back-to-back 6 touchdowns, like some of those calls that you hear from those two. Meant a lot as a player, obviously, like you said, and deserving 2-time Pro Bowler, was on the Steelers, staple for that offensive line throughout his whole career. I can't even add up the amount of years. 13 years crazy, for the Steelers.
It's crazy.
Spent an extra year with the Packers. So, yeah, definitely well-deserving on the field, but then what he meant to the Steelers organization off the field after his football career, obviously you touched on all that. So, yeah, the 4 names, whenever I saw Hall of Honor, I'm like, I thought they'd be in already. But with it being only 5 years old, that's good.
It's a little bit of a waiting list.
Yeah.
But I like that, though, man. But before we finish this up, man, I'm going to get some of these chat comments as well, because I know we had a couple super chats in here as we're wrapping this thing
up. Oh, yeah, I see.
All right, so first off, we got Jumpman23_31 Gaming. First off, we appreciate
just joined the upper room.
Yeah, he did, man. We appreciate you as well for that, because we shouted him out a little while ago. But he says, what do you guys think about Mason struggling? My bad if y'all have already addressed this. And how do I get a game with Deke on Madden? I'm on PS4. All righty. Well, first off, Jumpman23, for the first part of the conversation, we did address the Mason struggling thing. It is a combination of him playing bad, but it's also a combination of the offensive line that he's been with not giving him any type of time to really go back there and properly evaluate him. So it's a mix of his performance and the offensive line's performance in terms of why he's been struggling. But we're going to keep it updated, man. Like I said, I'm out there every single day covering it, every practice, open practice and closed practice. So I'm going to keep giving y'all the reports, man, as I see it, and we'll go from there. Now, the second part, though, how can he get a game with Deke on Madden, baby?
I've been slacking on Twitch, but that's probably the easiest way of, if you follow me on Twitch, just if I'm playing a game or something, because there are points where if I'm playing, I got people in the chat, they're like, yo, can we get a game? That's it. I'll, what's your PS tag or whatever, something like that, and then we'll get a game going live on the spot on Twitch. So that's probably the easiest. Twitch.tv/chilling with Deke. Follow me on there. Although I'm telling you, I haven't been as much on Twitch. I've been more behind the scenes game. I actually got one dropping today.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Okay, I like that. I like that then.
Yeah, stay tuned. Follow on Twitch, and it's possible. It's always possible.
The man said then. You heard what he said, baby. So it's that simple. Hit him up on Twitch. All right, next up, we got Barilla92. Shout out to you, Barilla92. We appreciate you. He says, little late, but here's a hot take. Henry Mondo is a better fullback than Derek Watt. Now, we have seen some productivity from Henry Mondo. Now, we did see. Now, part of that was because of Derek Watt not being available, right? I mean, because he was hurt at a portion last season. Yeah. And that was ultimately what led Henry Mondo to get those opportunities. He did become a little bit of a folk hero. I'm not willing to go there though. Not yet. I can't go there just yet.
He did. That was a nice play.
He did.
Kind of didn't he trip over himself maybe or something?
We don't. It don't matter how.
I think he was still upright though.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm discrediting too much. Maybe he didn't trip.
He all right.
I just remember being amped up about it. Like
he had
99.
some plays. He looked good.
That was the Ravens game, right?
Yeah. And then I thought it was Titans and
might have been Titans.
I thought Titans he might have had to play on defense, and then Ravens was on offense, maybe. But he's done some stuff though. It was like, all right, I see you, Henry.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that. And we were talking about it.
Well, I will say he does bring, positional flexibility to the table. You're always trying to say, okay, we only got 53 guys on the active. How can I take 53 and make that 60 guys? Henry Mondo is one of those. He can play this position and this position.
Did we ever do Casey Hampton like that?
I don't know.
I don't think we did. I would remember
I'm not gonna lie. I used to hate playing defense, and you'll go against a team and they want to put one of them big D linemen, 5'11", 300 pounds, and you're like, bro, I'm not spilling nothing, coach. I'm cutting this dude at his knees. I don't care what you say. I don't care what my responsibility is. This dude is not about to hit me. I'm standing up. Not a chance, man. But yeah. When I saw Henry, I'm like, Henry, you actually not that big, man. I would have liked that matchup low key. I would have been a
no, he's not. He's not big like Hampton.
I'm used to the ones that look like him. That's how they back then. That's how they do it. Yeah, man. You go out there, you put this dude. I'm like, bro, who?
Haven't the
why?
Bucks done Vita Vea? I think they've done him at fullback. Like that's another dude. It's like you don't want to mess
Cleveland,
with that.
Cleveland one time they had Danny Shelton back there. You remember Danny Shelton? He's like 5'9", 310, and I'm just like, yeah, coach. This ain't happening, baby. We might go ahead and check this call. Because I'm cutting his knees out for a fact.
I think we got one more super chat.
Uh-oh, where are we at?
This one's good.
All right, go. You got
Micah Hemp. Y'all should do a dedicated sports betting
like that
segment.
Last name. Yeah. Now we say it again. You said we should do a dedicated sports betting segment.
Yeah.
Well, funny thing is, man, that's actually we'll be bringing some sports betting elements to the shows, but that'll be starting in September. All right, starting in September. We got our friends at DraftKings, man. We're gonna keep bringing them back, and then from there, with that, we will have a little bit of a segment where we go through our odds. And we basically break them down, what we like, what we don't like about them, man. So that is something that will be happening. We're just waiting until the regular season hits September, that opening game. That's when we'll start bringing in that segment and stuff like that.
And we did it a little bit last year, but now with the third show, we could almost have a little dedicated 10, 15-minute joint for it.
Absolutely.
So I'm pretty amped for that too.
Absolutely.
I'm glad he brought it up.
Yeah, so like I said, man, we're going to have a sports booking segment, like I said, where we'll go through and break down what we think our best picks are and stuff like that. Obviously, because of our relationship with DraftKings and them being back on as a sponsor. Told y'all that early. Shout out. Okay. And then obviously, we got our good friends over at Manscaped still. So, we're going to keep this thing.
We're doing good.
Fully rocking. But that's more so because of the group, man. It's not just, a us thing. It's a us
you're right.
thing. Y'all are very much a part of this thing, man, because y'all move the needle. Y'all let them know that, hey, man, they liking the content. So we're going to keep that thing rolling, and y'all going to keep it rolling with us as well. But yeah, do we have anything else that we were getting to, man?
No, I think that was it. I think we were just checking through the super chats, seeing if anyone had some last comments. And because we finished the Hall of Honor.
Yeah.
Let's get Moats to 100K. I mean, that's the plan.
Hey, man, we get in there.
Quincy.
Trust me, we get in there, baby. Every single day we out here, we get in there. That's the grind. And that's why we got more shows coming, more content coming, more fun coming, and more special access coming, baby. This is what we do for the people.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else really here.
Yeah. Well, quick question from James Bradshaw. He says, why is it a 53-man roster and only 47 get helmets on game day?
Oh, this is philosophical.
Now, it's funny. I don't know necessarily the reason in terms of why it was 46 initially. Now it's, I think, 47 right now. But in terms of just how it works, I know the money part was significant. I know the gambling part as well. Just something along the lines of knowing who's available, who's not available. I never knew why, though, the number. That was the part for me I never understood in terms of why it couldn't be all 53 guys getting helmets versus where you think of college, where if it's 90 guys on the roster, 90 guys will be on the sideline fully dressed. At the NFL, though, is different. I wasn't sure why, but I do think a lot of it does pertain to money because, no, in all seriousness, though, a guy it could be the difference of $100,000 to different than $1 million if he is the 46th person and he gets that helmet, or he's the 48th person and he doesn't get the helmet. Like, seriously, like that's a significant thing.
NFLPA probably got it bumped from 46 to 47. Then.
Yeah, and I know they've bumped the practice squad roster as well to now. Because it's going to be 69 total players on a roster during the season.
Oh,
now.
wow.
And I was like, I know my man Deke would be happy about it being 69 total players.
Yeah,
on the
me
roster.
and Dotson.
Practice squad included because they
and
Nagowski.
Yeah,
I like Nagowski. Okay,
Holy hell,
you're a Nagowski guy, bro. I like him as well.
I cannot believe.
He gives me straight Yinzer vibes when I watch him. I love it.
He's been relevant at least.
Yes,
he was a no-name. We bring him on. At least he's been the bright spot for the Pirates
Very
this
true,
year.
man. Very true. He's been looking really good, man. I've been enjoying that. Even in the midst of me leaving and coming back in the roster being completely different. I said, oh, Lord, everybody, all my friends. Oh,
it's bad, too. Yeah, I've officially stopped doing my the Pirates Reacts. I think I'm done.
I had to
we got preseason. I'm done, dude, because I actually see them on TV. I was out a little bit this weekend.
Yeah.
I even threw them on in the background in like my living room and stuff. And these games are
it's rough, bro.
Bad.
It is rough right now.
9-0, 12-0, 12-1. Like,
it's rough right now.
So I'm done. I'm just done with them. It's Steeler time. I'm not focusing on the Pirates.
Well, you know my rule. If you do something well enough, we'll give you a little bit of time. Y'all drafted well enough, we gave you that time. You signed the people, we gave you that time. Y'all time's done now. We're not gonna do that. We're just Y'all get to go next time. Y'all try next year, all right? So yeah, that is that. But
you don't want to talk about if you see any upside in the Bucs right now.
I'm cool on them right now, bro. We're just gonna let them have a moment right now, all right?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the season. I had a good run,
bro.
I had a good run.
But no, football is here, and that's all that matters. But before we get up out of here, we did have one last super chat. This is from Let's Go UW. Thoughts on?
They troll it. They have to be.
Well, my thoughts on Percy Harvin is I think he's enjoying being a part of the Florida Gators coaching staff, you know, as a advisor down there. He's doing well. Yeah. I know he came out of retirement, but I don't think anything ever materialized
no
from
one signed
that.
him.
Bring him to Pittsburgh in 2021. Here we go. But in terms of Presley Harvin, we talked about him a little bit. Super good leg. Very impressive. Got to be more consistent. That's the big thing with him. But every day is a new day. Every practice, he's going to get a chance to show that he can be more consistent. And looks like it's 11 o'clock right now, so we're about 2 hours away from practice starting. So I'm excited about that. I don't know about you, Deke. You might be excited as well. People in the chat, hope y'all excited as well, man. But with that being said, baby, I think we good for the day.
I think that's it.
We're going to see y'all Wednesday night, though, player. That's what we doing, baby, all right? So we'll make sure we get that info up for y'all. But yeah, Wednesday night, man, we back in the saddle. So shout out to y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. If y'all show up to practice, man, enjoy yourselves. I'll be out there. Pull up if you see me. And until next time, baby.
Peace.